What's up, you filthy casuals? Welcome to the Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast, a podcast all about everything PC gaming related. There's a lot of P's in that intro. I am one of your hosts, Germ Gaming. Tonight, we are joined by Dave, the not-so-evil but very, very sick still, Viking 13.
I can talk in complete sentences now.
Everyone's proud of you. Yeah, he has push to cough on tonight. Actually, it would be great instead of having push to talk if you could just push to mute, so you could just press it when you're about to cough.
You can actually, like, watch this. Hey guys, I'm talking in normal sentences. Oh no, I have to.
Not bad.
Great.
Not bad.
Wow.
We are also joined by Debbie, or the avatar of Debbie.
Hello, everybody.
We are joined by James.
What's up?
And Joel.
Wildcard bitches!
That's your intro.
Never been more true. Okay, so we are going to begin the show like we begin every show, except when we have other things to begin it with. We are going to begin it with the news. The first
news time!
That is correct, Joel. The first news item is Joel's news, and as always, we open the podcast with Joel shilling for consoles. Joel, did something happen this week?
Well, Ollie, tell us about Destiny. Well, Destiny works. That's all, folks.
Destiny came out this week.
It came out. I'm not playing it that much right now. I only played it for a little bit because I'm waiting for James. Waiting for marriage. No, because James doesn't have his copy yet, so because I graciously got him a PS4 so he could join me on this quest. Our destinies would intertwine. So I was just like, all right, I'll test it because the beta was pretty much the same as the start of the real game, which I was like, I was curious to know if that's exactly how the way the game starts, and it does. So I was like, I'll just play a little bit from the start, but it was so nice. I was like, I forgot how games can work. Like, day one. Like, it just works. It was nice.
Last big one that did that was, like, Titanfall, I guess, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Titanfall pretty much worked. I mean, Titanfall
because Destiny is only online. There is no offline whatsoever.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have been that surprising, especially for a big release for the servers to be down or something.
What I heard,
on
though,
launch day.
because a friend of mine who I was with, he was in my Boy Scout troop before. He works at a GameStop, and he said that all of the Halo servers that they've been using for the last 10 years or so, they all got moved over into Destiny. So all those years of research and everything of using, like, not just the very old ones, but just their whole technology.
That sounds like something someone at GameStop would tell me. They've taken all the Halo servers and moved them over. Oh, the Athlon dual cores from 2002?
Like their technology.
Powered by Halo.
The ones where
Halo 2 technology.
Well, they did have Halo 4 out, you know.
No, I know.
And that
no,
worked.
I mean, I think Halo has always had really good launch day support, haven't they? Like, they've always worked really well.
They're good at it.
Yeah, Halo and Call of Duty have both done the day one stability thing really well, so
I think it's
kudos
funny
to
to hear
them.
Joel say that because I've got 3 people on my Twitter account that have been raging about the always online part of Destiny. One guy kept getting his console disconnected during like cutscenes and stuff. It'd be like mid dialogue, and he goes back in and it like restarts the cutscene.
Okay, but, that part, that's the dumb part about always online. But it's an online shooter, so I don't know if you can complain about like, why does it have to be on the internet so much? I don't know. Why does Battlefield?
Someone helped him fix it though. But it was just funny to see like all the tweets that I've seen over the last few days. And Joel's like, it works, and I'm like,
well, at least it's better than 9 people being raging than 400 billion people raging day one.
Yeah.
For the first 9 months. So.
Yeah. So now Destiny is coming to the PC.
It's not. No, not at all. No, it isn't. Like, it isn't. Did you think it was?
They kind of actually.
I feel really bad crushing your dreams, but like, no, it isn't.
I'm pretty sure it was confirmed for the PC, Joel.
No, go ahead.
I don't think it was confirmed. I think it was.
There's rumors that, they always say, because they always like to leave the door open of, hey, maybe they can, but I really doubt it. I mean, Activision owns it, and it's gonna be supported for the next 10 years. It's one of those games I don't think it's going to. It'd be awesome if it does, because that'd be fun to play.
I thought it was confirmed. Okay. All right.
That would have been huge news.
Okay.
The only article I saw, the headline is loading. Destiny is likely to come to PC, but don't hold your breath for an announcement.
Okay. I mean, it could be a Grand Theft Auto 5 situation where they're like, no, if you want it, you should definitely buy one of these new consoles to play
Buy an Xbox One.
Buy an Xbox One. And then 9 months later, Destiny Game of the Year Edition. on PC.
Destiny, only release of the year edition.
Ooh. But is it fun so far, Joel? You're enjoying it?
Yeah. I mean, the alpha was amazing. The beta was amazing. The game's fun. It's just, it's weird because it looks actually so freaking boring. It really does. Like, all the trailers, everything leading up to it looks really, really boring. It really is. But once you start playing, it just kind of clicks and it's just fun. Mm-hmm. Like, that's literally all I can say. Like, it's not amazing.
Revolutionary.
It isn't. It's
like
not
Borderlands.
It's not revolutionary at all.
I was going to say, is it like Borderlands?
Oh, very, very much. Like, but then it's like Halo. Like, the controls are just smooth. Like, I don't know, it's just simple. I don't know. It's just fun. I'm excited to play with you, James, when you get it. So, yeah. I wish we all had it because we would all be playing it right now because it's a blast.
We don't have.
We would not be doing the podcast. We'd be playing.
Well, we don't have PS4s. Destiny might be a fun game, but it's not $460 fun, and that's what it would cost for me to play it. So
yeah.
But the other games are $1,700 fun.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Can't wait to play Star Citizen. I guess I'll just fork out $1,700.
Actually, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and do it now since James brought it up. James, you're gaming with a budget graphics card from 2010, and you can play ARMA 3 and DayZ. So shut up about how much money it costs to play games on the PC.
I'm happy to do both.
And you're borrowing Joel's library of games to do it without paying another dime.
I've still got 200 of my own.
And you probably paid an average of $1.50 a piece for them.
Depends
real value for
depends on if it was a Humble Bundle or not.
Well, that's where most of us got most of our games. Where'd these 60 come from? Humble Bundle? You remember them? Nope. I mean, I've got a lot of games. I was flipping through Steam the other night, and I was like, when did I get this? And I'm just like, must have been a Humble Bundle. I've even created a new category in Steam. Probably not going to play this. Like
I already have one.
Like, I mean, you get a game in the Humble Bundle because you wanted a couple other games, but you're like, I'm not going to, Oh, crap. There's an ad. I have an ad playing again. I'm going to find it. Dave, vamp.
I think Joel has a good point, though. I think PC would have a lot more value if it wasn't just for gaming. Like, if you could do things with your PC besides just game, like productivity and,
like if you could create
and
things like podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about using Word and Excel on your computer, Dave.
Dude, my computer is a spreadsheet monster.
I hear it's really good for doing your taxes. I hear it's good for taxes, right?
It's okay for taxes. You really want the new 8-core CPUs for your taxes, though, to crunch the numbers. Like, it actually crunches the numbers.
Joel, can you do your taxes on your PS4?
It has a web browser.
To do those, Joel needs a MacBook that's as thick as 3 sheets of paper to do his taxes on, which is better than the model he just sold earlier this year because it was as thick as 5 sheets of paper and the battery life was only 90% as good.
It's okay though, Jeremiah, because Macs are pretty cheap. That's a good value, right?
Here's some really depressing. Okay, so my work just got me a MacBook Pro Retina, like a 15-inch one, right?
Yeah.
But I have my own MacBook Air that I bought because I like using a laptop.
By depressing, this is a real first world depressing problem.
It is.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I hate using the Mac. I carry my laptop in, and the MacBook Pro Retina, brand new, is never used. I hate using it. Like it's too clear.
At least you got one.
Too clear.
I know. I feel sorry for Debbie.
What does that even mean? It's
okay. Here,
my wife has one of these for her work, so I know, I'm familiar with the computer.
Right. Okay. You have an iPhone 5. I have an iPhone 5. Like, because it's so clear, like I tend to like look at it pretty close because you can see detail and everything, right? Well, with the MacBook Pro Retina, I tend to like get really close because like you can see every detail on the dock.
This sounds like a problem with your medication that you should talk to a doctor about. I don't know if that's a problem with the screen.
But I'm like looking at it, like it actually causes my eyes to hurt after a while.
Do you look
because
at
I'm
real
like
life too close? You're looking at a wall going, I can't see any pixels. Why?
Well, it's like not everywhere in the world you're always seeing tiny little text. That's like everywhere, super tiny. It's like since you can read it, it's like I'm like my brain, I'm like, oh, I gotta read this. It's just I don't know why. I'm like, so I just don't like it as much. And it's heavy. It's heavy and it gets hot on my lap.
I'll
gladly take that off your hands.
Yeah.
Or you gladly take it off his lap.
Let me drop the depressing part here. Joel's complaining about work giving him a free MacBook. Meanwhile, I'm doing 3D artwork on a workstation.
Dave works at the same place as Joel, just context.
I'm doing 3D real-time artwork on a workstation that was built in 2009. I was denied an upgrade for the second year in a row, while Joel is getting computers that he does not want. So I brought my old computer parts from my old build from March into work. I upgraded my own work PC.
Hey, well, I did buy my own MacBook Air while I used a crappy iMac that was slower than dirt.
So you bought your own personal...
Double depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted a laptop anyways, but there's no way. F using an iMac that's like ancient.
We're not going to park too long on making fun of Apple tonight. One quick thing I wanted to make fun of, though. iPhone 6 was announced. I think it's cool they're going with the bigger screen sizes. Good for them. But have you heard what they're calling the new screen? Retina HD. Is that or is that not one of the dumbest names you've ever heard?
That is so stupid.
The whole point of Retina was like, it's the clearest thing you've ever seen in your whole stinking life. Now, Retina HD. Now they're going to have Retina Ultra HD. Now their biggest phone has just now hit 1080p. I owned a phone 2 years ago that was 1080p. Like, that's their whole Retina HD. It's the best screen ever put into a smartphone. It's like the same screen I had in my Droid DNA in November of 2012. Anyway.
I wouldn't know about them smartphones.
Yes, but you got one this year, didn't you, Dave?
I did, and you know what? It's already full HD. I've been using it for 6 months now.
All right, so anyway. Next news item. Payday 2 has some new DLC coming out, the Hotline Miami DLC.
They're going crazy.
Have you guys played Hotline Miami? Which of you have played it?
I've seen the trailer, and that's about it, yeah.
Okay. It's super fun, and... the trailer for the Hotline Miami DLC, it doesn't really tell you exactly what it's going to have in it. I'm assuming it's going to have new masks and maybe like the music and stuff. But honestly, the music was awesome. I mean, what do you think, Joel? What type of DLC would you want to see? From Hotline Miami?
It's funny. I watched that. I think it's just going to be a few melee weapons, things like that. Maybe a map. That'd be cool if there's a map. If it's nothing but just melee stuff and helmets, I'm like, I don't care. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I don't care. If it's a map, that might be kind of cool, because I'm all for another. Actually, wait. I think in the video it says something about a heist.
Oh, probably does.
That would be really cool if it had a cool heist.
Oh, yeah, it will contain a heist. And it comes out the 30th of September. I think it's really cool they keep, like, announcing DLC that are coming out really soon. They're doing a good job of, like, riding the hype. Like, it comes out and you're like, I would like all the Battlefield weapons. Here it is.
I feel like Payday 2 has been out for forever, but it's like, man, they just always are getting new stuff.
It's a platform,
Valve games or whatever. Yeah. It's like Payday 2 is becoming what's the other game Debbie likes? Team Fortress. I feel like it's turning into that kind of thing where it's like, man, they got everything.
I would love to see I haven't seen the sales, like how they've jumped over time. If like,
that'd be interesting.
They've had just random spikes here and there. Just
I saw a thing today that the Payday 2 official Steam group is bigger than the Dota Steam group.
No way.
Yeah,
really?
Dota's at like 800,000, and Payday 2 is at like 1.3 million.
Dang, it's a fun game.
Payday.
We should play more of it.
Well, they give you perks for joining the Steam group too. Like you unlock things in game.
Well, that would do it.
No shame.
They give you extra weapons and money.
Yeah, James, like, I think you're quickly becoming the actual loot whore of the group. Like,
some people have tried to take.
I hear another ad.
Where is it? Where is it?
Tonight in the podcast, Jeremiah hunts ads in his hundreds of tabs.
Let me see if I can add an ad blocker without having to restart everything.
You will have to restart.
Well, not doing it tonight. Let's just keep closing these tabs by going through the news. Next news item. All right. Windows 9 is rumored to be announced in September sometime, and it will be coming out probably spring of 2015. Yes, this isn't really directly related to PC gaming, but much in the way that you could get hyped about like a PS4 or Xbox One rumors before they came out, Windows 9 is going to be a major platform for people gaming on the PC. So it is a big deal for PC gaming, especially because we don't quite yet know if Microsoft is moving farther away from the things that make Windows or made older versions of Windows great. Like,
did you see the leaks?
Yes, I did. This will either be like a step in the wrong direction for PC gamers or a step back to the right direction. Fortunately, Project Threshold, which is the code name for Windows 9, appears to be some steps in the right direction based on very reputable leaks that we have. It looks like the typical start menu is back, but it is designed to look more like Windows 8. It has some of the live tiles and stuff, so you should get the best of both worlds. A really smart thing is it will be able to detect which what type of device you're running it on, and so it shouldn't like force people with desktops to go through the big tiled start menu if they don't have touch screens. Like they'll have a choice if they want to do that or not, instead of just kind of forcing it upon them. Because surprise, surprise, most of them are like, "Hey, I would rather go to the desktop that's made for mice. Thanks." So anyway, there's that.
You know, I don't actually see myself upgrading from 8.1.
Well, I didn't see myself upgrading from 7 to 8, but I might upgrade to 9. Like, if they improve a lot of things I didn't like about 8, 9 would be the next logical jump. But I don't see any reason to upgrade every
I like
time.
the UI enough in 8.1 that I've gotten used to it. I like the start menu now, and unless there's really massive performance upgrades, I don't think it'll be worth the upgrade from 8.1.
That's what I was going to say, Dave. If there's any performance upgrades, 5% you'll upgrade.
Joel, if you
5%.
slash anymore, you're going to be off screen.
I will take anything besides 8.
Do you have 8?
I know,
Yes.
Debbie. You and John hate all things Windows 8.
Well, Windows 8 is absolute shite. But I was going to
It's
say,
not absolute.
it's terrible,
It's not
dude.
as bad as Vista.
okay, it's great when you know how to mod the crap out of it and fix it. Yes.
No,
Mod the crap.
no. It's not that
I've had
bad,
to fix,
Joel.
get rid of a lot of stuff. Yeah, it is.
It's clunky.
terrible.
I can rant about it for a while too, but it's not horrible. 8-second reboots, like the speed of everything is really nice. The design aesthetic
Windows
is
7
very
had like
pretty.
20-second. Like what? Like it's not that huge of a difference. Yay.
It's a big difference.
Actually,
well, because you guys keep your computers on like
Well, no,
forever.
no,
When do you ever
Joel.
turn them off?
Joel, no.
I'm just
good
saying.
example.
Mine stays off. What are you talking about?
You always keep your computer off?
Yeah.
I was traveling.
You always told me you keep it on. It's always running.
That's Jeremiah, not me.
Mine's
Maybe
not
it is
always on.
Jeremiah.
I turn it on at the beginning of every day, and it's on all day. But I leave it on overnight a lot of the time because I queue up big jobs like render jobs and stuff. So I let them go while I'm sleeping.
I mean, I think a quick boot time is great for a laptop, but I mean, PCs.
Well,
is
it is. I would say Okay, James.
I'm sorry, were we talking about gaming?
I was traveling a few times this year, Joel, and I was trying to do some work, and I brought my laptop with me that has an SSD and it has Windows 8. I added the SSD, which adding that to Windows 8 is one of the most frustrating experiences of my life to date. But working with it in an airport was great because, like, if they called it, it was time for my gate, I hit the shutdown button, and it's shut by it's off by the time I've got the screen closed, pretty much. And it turns on super quick. It's really quick to resume going. It's very, very snappy, and I appreciate that. But that's also a touchscreen, and it makes more sense on it. Rumors are that the upgrade from 8.1 to Windows 9 could be anywhere, could be around $20. It'll probably be more if you have Windows 7 or something, because Microsoft still does make most of their money off Windows, so it doesn't behoove them to give it away. But
it'd be nice to know if they did that, you'd have a lot less people stealing it and just upgrading because it's cheap, you know?
you'd have a lot more people upgrading because it's cheap. They need to do that to get people to move off XP. XP was so huge that there are a lot of organizations that as long as their computers are running, there's we'll fix it when it actually breaks. And the problem with that is it's not that Windows XP is super broken. It's still a decently stable operating system. The problem is the hackers are targeting it in massive amounts now, and people need to move off it, but it's hard to explain to people why that's such a big deal. So I
don't think price though is the biggest inhibitor.
Well,
People moving
it's
from
knowledge,
XP.
honestly. Most of the people still on XP are not on XP because they're like, this is the pure operating system. I want to stick with it because blah, blah, blah. It's no, because
it's not a very easy installation either, you know? I mean, especially for people going from XP to that, you know?
Well, most of the XP computers, I'm sure, are still enterprise deployed stuff. It's stuff for businesses, and if they don't have to upgrade, if it still works fine, they don't want to, which is understandable.
And if you have software that was written for XP, a lot of enterprise people are terrified of breaking their software.
And that's the big difference. Anytime you want to compare OS X and Windows, is Windows is not made for one tier of consumers, and OS X really is. It's made for consumers of luxury computer products and college students who have loans. And so the reason they're so successful getting people to upgrade to the newest version is their technology will leave the older versions behind very quickly. But Windows is really designed to be, Bill Gates targeted, he wanted a computer in every household. He wanted everyone to use his operating system, and he really kind of succeeded. And because of that, there's so many different types of use cases for Windows. They're having a hard time coming up with one operating system that targets what everyone wants out of it. Even the failure that's Windows 8 has sold more units than all versions of OS X ever. So, Windows is massive. But anyway, those are the rumors. I am excited. I really might upgrade. If it's the Windows 7 to Windows 8 being Vista, then I am excited.
Yeah, I'm excited to upgrade. I think the only thing is make sure I don't upgrade until my movie's done. Because I just don't want, I just don't want anything going wrong.
Your movie better be done by the time it comes out.
Vegas doesn't work anymore. Just start over in Premiere.
Oh, yeah. From scratch.
I'll adopt it day one. I'm that guy.
If it's honestly, if it's $20 or $30, honestly, I mean, I'll buy it right away. That's fine. That's what I do love about OS, or Mac OS X, is that it's really cheap. So it makes it super easy to just be like, all right, I'll give it a shot. If it's not amazing, it's $30. It's not $150 or $250, or having to find like a college version or some kind of education discount or something like that. I think making it easier and more accessible to buy it.
With OS X, they do much more incremental updates too. So you might only be paying $20 or $30, but really you're getting like a service pack plus a little bit more.
That's true, but I mean, Windows is not that huge of a difference though. Each one, it's not that huge.
But Windows usually, when they give their incremental updates, they usually don't put features. At least OS X every year gives new features.
That's true. Windows, they charge more for the base operating system, and then all their service packs are free. OS X charges for service packs, but they trickle in the features each time. So theirs is more like a steady evolution. Windows is like a tick-tock type thing where like Windows Vista was a big change from XP. Windows 7 just refined Vista. Windows 8 was a big jump. Windows 9 will probably just refine Windows 8. It's just different ways of doing it. I mean, either way is fine, I guess. Next news item. The Witcher 3, which is not a PC exclusive, is coming out, but very PC exclusive will be the visuals.
Yeah, the true game will definitely be PC only.
The reason they're saying that is if you have a 780 Ti, you're probably enjoying being like the big player on the top of the heap here. But you will not be able to play The Witcher 3 at 1080p at 60 FPS. They've already said, nope, game's too pretty. Sorry. So this might be like the next Crisis. I don't know.
Witcher 2, when it first came out, was a computer crusher too in 2011.
That's true. They said with a 780 Ti, you'll get 35 to 45 FPS at 1080p max settings, but that's with 8x anti-aliasing, which does anyone really play with 8x unless you're playing on a game old enough where it doesn't matter? Like I normally play
only
on
if it's
2
like
or 4.
Source or something.
Yeah. 2 usually looks fine.
2 or 4 is usually good.
Yeah. And The Witcher 3 will run at 720p at 30 FPS on the Xbox One and 900p at 30 FPS on the PS4. And they have said that the console versions are the low version of graphics settings. But even low is really good. They said it'll put it right at the level of Witcher 2 graphics, which are still amazing. So I think...
Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful game.
No one's really losing here.
Well, how much kind of RAM you have to have for this game?
That hasn't really gone up that much. It's mostly your video card memory that would go up a bunch.
It's just you have to have at least a 780, but that's not even 60 FPS, 1080p.
No, if you want to play on the max settings, you do. But to play on mid settings, it's the same as most other games. What they've done, though, is just the top end is really high. So the people who want... But you'll be able to get like 90% of the same experience.
So what are you guys going to do?
Oh, I'm going to play with what I have. I'll be able to get 90% of the experience. I mean, my R9 290 is... like a GTX 780. I mean, it's not that far away. I can probably play it at 60 FPS if I just lower a couple settings. Does it not really matter
trying to keep it at 60 FPS if you have it on max, or you're just going to go high or mid or something like that?
No,
it's a preference thing, I think.
Whatever I can get it stable at, I guess we don't know. I'd rather be stable at 30 than fluctuate like at 45.
What would be really nice is if they build in a lock. So if you can't hit 60 all the time, you can hit 45 or something like that. That would be nice. I love Borderlands 2, how they do that.
I think I'm going to aim for like a steady 30 with like as high as I can crank the settings. For The Witcher, I don't think you need 60 FPS. Like it would be nice if you could just do it, but honestly, I want to see it in all of its glory, even if it's at 30. I need that.
Now, Debbie, you're reading The Witcher books right now, right?
Yep.
Are you planning on playing The Witcher 3?
Oh yeah.
Have you played The Witcher or Witcher 2?
I played a little bit of 2, not whole much though.
Do you want a save game, Debbie, after the 6-hour-long prologue?
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Where are you guys getting the 900p and the 720p?
That's a quote according to gaming site Cyberland. And
how old is that? How old is that? Because those look like old rumors from April.
The article's from August 30th. But I mean, that could definitely be wrong.
I guess we don't. I mean, I've seen it going from 1080p on the PS4, 900p on the Xbox One, and then some earlier quotes saying the 900 and 720.
Okay, so maybe it will be better than that.
I know in other articles they're on PS4 they're trying to get 1080p. So they haven't confirmed anything, but like it was a Eurogamer one that they had an interview with. So they're trying for it. Like what was it? Like Assassin's Creed, the latest one, it came out at 900p, and then like a month later they were able to get a patch out that brought it up to 1080p. So I think if it gets 900p, it would be awesome. If they get 1080p, that'd be cool too. Who knows? Be close.
I mean, if it's a good-looking 720p, I love resolution too.
I just know the companies now are really pushing the games. They're like, you got to get it to 1080p. So, but I think they've just had such a limited amount of time with these consoles so far.
Well, I know we make fun of it a lot, but Joel, you might appreciate this. We have a projector in our apartment, so we're shooting a 100-inch picture, and we're sitting about 9.5 feet away from it. And we can play video files at 720p, and they look great. Like, you can't tell that huge a difference between 720p and 1080p at that distance. So for a console, I think it does matter less than for a PC. I mean, if they could do 900p, it's probably indistinguishable from 1080p if the game runs smoothly.
The thing I like when if consoles can at least get it is just get a nice square pixel ratio.
Yeah, something native is good.
Because, there was something in Watch Dogs. I think Watch Dogs looks just fine on the PS4. I've been enjoying it. I'm really surprised at how much I've actually played with it. But anyways, for one, there's when you can erupt the little gas thing underneath the ground and it causes the smoke and everything. I forget what it's called. Like the
spoiler
gas pipes or whatever it is. When you drive across Dave.
Yeah. The steam pipes.
For some reason in it, all the smoke effects are at like 200p. Compared to everything else. It's so I don't know if they do a little bit of that on the PC at all. It does this weird image effect on the screen. Yeah. But that is at 200p, and then as soon as it goes away, it's whoop, back to what the heck is that?
Have you seen the screenshots of the shadows on Destiny on the PS3? The shadows are 5p. The shadows are so bad.
Well, I played it on an Xbox 360 because I had the beta on pretty much every system minus the Game Boy. The game didn't actually look that bad, when you're playing it and stuff like that, but it sure looks good on the PS4 though. So it's a beautiful looking game.
Yeah, Joel, you missed a time code for this.
Oh, my bad.
Thing.
I
don't even know what to tell you. And then, does anyone actually use the time codes, by the way? I guess we keep putting them in here, but I haven't heard from anybody if it's actually helpful.
Joel, work.
People requested a lot before we did them. I just haven't heard anything since we started doing them. Okay, so you've heard about these brutal system requirements, and you're like, gosh, I'm just not sure what I'm going to do. Well, if you don't think your system will be able to play it, this is a terrible segue. I'm just making it as bad as possible. You might want to keep an eye out for the Nvidia 900 series. Yes, they're skipping the 800 series for no apparent reason, even though the 800 series was on the mobile parts.
Badass.
Yeah, they're we're going straight to 9.
They can't do that.
The GTX 900 series could be coming out sometime in September, and supposedly leaked performance results show that the GTX 980 outperforms the R9 290X and stock clock GTX 780 Ti by a decent margin. The card should be very overclockable. Much like normal, it appears that you're getting about another 10-15% of performance, pretty much like every time NVIDIA releases new cards. So none of this is mind-blowing. But if the price was super cheap, it'd be cool.
Are they coming out a little early?
No.
If DirectX 12 is around the corner?
Well, they do it every year though. So even if DirectX 12 technically comes out within the next couple months, they'll just hit it on the next round. I mean, or they might release the 985 or the 975 or something just to. They've done things like that.
The thing I am very excited about the 900 series are not the 900 series, DirectX 12. No one said that. Is that they are trying to work on being able to allow developers to get closer down to the metal of the CPU, actually, to be able to code closer and closer to not having that stuff. Because OpenGL, I was watching from the keynote from Apple. It was just interesting, how there is that, that there is that little bit of space that's, slows things down. It allows you to do many things, but it also does slow you down from getting closer and closer to just being able to get as much juice out of it.
The graphics pipeline is kind of convoluted.
Yeah,
because 11 and previous. Yeah,
I don't know if you guys watched the pod or the keynote. Watched the first like 20 minutes. It was like Chinese, like dubbing over the entire thing. It was a pretty messy.
What was up with that?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. So they fixed it about 35 minutes in, but
then the stream stopped loading. Of course, I had to watch on my iPhone because they're like, "Sorry, you must have Safari on an Apple device to watch this." I was like, "Well, screw you."
But during the keynote, they were talking about how, a lot of other phones, they say, hey, it's got this speed, it's got this speed. They're like, yeah, they have that speed for the first 10 minutes. But as you're playing game, the speed slows down because...
As it gets hot, they have to throttle down.
I never even thought about that. I was like, I didn't even think about that. I was like, how you can kind of go, hey, we have this gimmicky whatever speed, And I'm sure my iPhone does as well. It gets really hot, too, when I'm playing game. But I was curious. I was like, I wonder if they, with DirectX 12 and future PC type stuff, if they're going to start figuring out ways to just get closer and closer to having developer like straight access to it. Because I know that's what they're doing in the Xbox One. There's going to be a new developer toolkit coming out pretty soon that allows them to get closer and closer outside of all these little things to get more speed out of it. So, and I think in the next couple of years, the thing is going to sing. I think for a lot of games, it's going to do well.
In supposed 3D Mark Fire Strike benchmarks, the 980 was a tiny bit slower than the 780 Ti, but when overclocked, it was quite a bit faster. When it was overclocked, it was almost as fast as GTX 770s and SLI, so one 980 would be about as fast as Dave's dual 680s. And a 980
here we go again.
And the 980 SLI was just a tiny bit slower than the R9 295X2. Interestingly, the R9 295X2 has dropped in price to $1,000. So unless these cards are like less than $500 by a decent margin, they may not actually be the best performance for your money deal, but who knows? All right. And our last news item is about USB Type-C. I called it USB 3.1, but it's a USB 3.1 specification, and it's going to go with the USB Type-C cable. For everyone who is irritated with USBs like only plugging in one way and the cables being big and everything like that, USB 3.1 should be pretty awesome. Peak throughput goes to 10 gigabit per second from 5 gigabit per second, which means you can get about 1.25 gigabytes per second, which is really just fantasy at this point, because like you would need 3 really fast SSDs and like a RAID 0 to even approach those speeds. But AnandTech did a test where they were able to hit 833 megabytes a second through a USB 3.1 cable.
Say what?
I know that's pretty crazy. Like think how fast that is.
Those numbers are almost meaningless at that point. It's just like,
well, that's what people probably said about the move to like SATA 3. You're like 100 megabytes a second. The future.
I will say one thing. The funny part about technology and getting faster and faster is like it's almost meaningless. It really is. Just think about this, right? Back in the day when you had USB 1, how many gigs or things were you transferring? Not that much. It was like maybe hundreds of megabytes. But now we're like every video file, even freaking from an iPhone, it's like, oh gosh, it's almost like 1.5 gigs. Now we're doing like 14 gigs or 50 gigs or 700 gigs, So we just need the speed to catch up. So really we're about the same as a USB 1.
It's called less compression.
Well, but all the simpler tasks are way quicker still.
Yeah,
like the things that haven't gotten bigger.
Yeah. But if I guess in the line of work doing video or photos, it's like it hasn't really changed that much. We're just doing more gobs and gobs of photos.
Photos Joel, actually has made a big difference for me.
Megapixels go up, so do the file sizes. Video.
Joel, as someone who did YouTube for almost 2 years with freaking USB 2 external hard drives, my move to USB 3 this year, like the sky parted and the sun shone upon my hard drives.
It won't last long, Dave, because you'll be doing 4 or 5K or 8K soon, and then it'll be all over again. You're in there. It's like no.
I paid for you. Take it.
So anyway, other cool things about USB 3. It has power delivery that will let the USB supply up to 100 watts. So a single port can provide power and data, and power can go both ways, as can data. So you could use a USB cable to power and run a monitor. Think how cool that is, and think about the implications.
I've always wanted a way for my phone charger to set my motherboard on fire. I'm really excited about this.
You could use a tablet as a second monitor. Like you could charge it and like provide data to it through its charging cable. How cool is that? They can, Dave, it's even fast enough for PCI Express to send PCI Express data through a USB cable. And you know what's cool about it? We
finally get our dream of like plugged in graphics cards for laptops. Will that finally happen?
Actually, that's exactly what they're thinking, is like stuff like that could be very possible. And it's about the size of the Apple Lightning connector. So how cool is that?
You get like this super thin laptop and like 40 peripherals. This is my gaming laptop.
Actually,
separate power supply just for the graphics card. Like the lights dim when you plug it in. It gets super hot.
IBM actually.
That's going to be for Dave's iPad. It's like, I just want to do some nice light browsing. Plug.
Lenovo
GTX 90 attached to my phone.
Did you see the ad Lenovo ran when the MacBook Air first came out?
Mm-mm.
The MacBook Air, like, it came out, and its whole thing was like they took a manila envelope in the ad and they slid the MacBook Air out of the manila envelope, like, look how stinking thin this is. And it was very cool. Well, Lenovo ran this ad where they slid the MacBook Air into the manila envelope, and then they slid in a portable CD drive, and then they slid in a portable USB reader because it only had like one USB port, and they kept sliding in all the things that the MacBook Air didn't have, and like, so the thing is super stuffed, and like the paper on the envelope is ripping and everything. And then they were showing off they had one of their X series laptops. It was a little thicker, but it still fit in the envelope. And it had all the stuff the MacBook Air didn't have.
That's good marketing there.
But yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing.
It's
like
useless
laptops
now, though, because no one uses any of that crap anymore.
ThinkPads are like the most popular tough business laptops in the world. Actually,
yeah,
I think
because
Lenovo's
businesses buy them, not personal people choosing, I want that.
Not people, businesses buy them. People don't use them.
And they're not buying that model.
At my work, everyone hates those freaking laptops. They hate them.
Lenovo, you work in the art department.
We buy really crappy ones too, Joel. Like really crappy.
Joel,
no, they're top of the line
I'm pretty sure Lenovo is the number one PC
them.
manufacturer in the world. So I'll be like, no one buys those except most of the people who buy computers.
Joel, I have a Lenovo and it is amazing. I love it.
Debbie has spoken. End of the conversation, guys.
Apparently.
Yes, Debbie's gonna be doing the podcast now. She said her.
I send all my hate arrows your way.
Debbie's been waiting for that moment just to like shut Joel down in one sentence.
Debbie's like, here it is, my opinion.
Finally.
Okay, how often do you guys use CD drives?
Once a week, baby.
Well, you burn them on photos, don't you?
Just various stuff.
What do you use a CD drive for?
What do I use the CD drive for?
No, Dave, what do you use a CD drive for?
Windows 8, music CDs, backups.
Wait. What do you mean Windows 8?
I occasionally do repairs and tweaks and stuff like that. Memtest 86.
You're using a PC, so you gotta keep that disk in constantly.
Not gotta. Can do optional things if he wants to.
I use the Windows 8 stuff.
Make the computer work or boot.
It's almost like that really nice sports car just requires a little bit more TLC than your Honda Civic.
And you're like, look, guys, my tricycle never breaks. The training wheels are so comforting.
Besides somewhere to ride it, you guys are just like, oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, I can't drive it past 60.
I think it's more like having a Porsche as a Mac and then having a Dodge Viper that's going to break after like 10,000 miles as a PC.
A Dodge Viper is a little more apt because it's like, you look at a Dodge Viper and you're like, there's a lot of poor decisions that went into this, but I get it. Like the door cells on a Dodge Viper can give you second-degree burns. Good design, guys.
My MacBook Air can give me burns. I've almost cut myself on it.
That's the problem with buying an aluminum device that makes heat. It doesn't, and the vents are this big. That's what it does. You know what my iPhone does when I leave it out in the sun? Like if I'm driving in my car,
dude, it gets like on flames.
It shuts off. I'm driving using it for nav, and I put it up in the little thing in the windshield. Like
you cannot do that. I'll turn the air conditioner, set it right by the air conditioner.
Right.
One of the things I hate about
making something out of metal and not having vents on it. Except like I guess one of the vents is on the bottom, maybe.
I hated about the iPhone when I had my iPhone is that when it started to overheat, it like pretty much just shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Like my Android, if it starts to get to that threshold, it'll start shutting down programs that are causing it to overheat.
Yep, the iPhone just goes straight to shut down.
Like it turns off navigation and it stops charging.
Yeah, whenever I go tanning, my phone turns off. Like I can't use it. It's ridiculous.
First world problems.
Yeah, that's.
We live in the first world. Let's embrace them.
Oh, there it is. That's a spirit, James.
And now it is time for. Oh, wait. It's time for Joel.
Can I share a first world problem story?
Dave.
It was really funny. Or do you got something, Dave?
No, go ahead, Joel. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. You go ahead first.
So somebody I know, we were practicing music for our church, and we just all kind of, whatever. We're talking, and various things are going on with various families and all kinds of stuff, right? And one was like, just say a prayer for they're doing a no sugar, like no I think no dairy, also stuff for 30 days, right? And so my mom's doing it, my sister's doing it, and it was just funny because it's like same parents like, and she started to laugh because she's like, I feel so dumb asking this because I'm like, I chose to do this. It's like, please, can you just guys pray for me, guys, because I'm going through this. I'm choosing to go through this horrible thing. I feel
self-chosen difficult times.
It just made me laugh because I'm like, oh, I guess it's kind of horrible, but I just like see like people in other countries like starving. They're like. Someone over here in the United States like, I'm choosing not to eat and feel good.
I don't believe in dairy. I'm sorry.
It was funny because it was like everyone knew it was silly, but it was just like, why am I doing this? Mail time.
No, actually, Dave has a news story.
Yeah, we have gun news.
Dave time.
Oh, come on, that's what I get.
It's Dave time.
There we go. I need like a Rambo style intro with like explosions going off and like a Huey minigun playing Fortunate Son in the background. So yeah, we have some gun news this week, and it's making fun of the ATF, which is always fun. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco,
Bureau
and
of Fun.
Firearms. Yeah, was that one super cheesy T-shirt that says the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms should be like a convenience store, not a government bureaucracy? Like,
I'm not sure I'm 100% on board with that. Libertarian utopia, also known as the Mad Max universe.
Yes,
really
bring it on.
The ridiculousness of this story. We have to go all the way back to the Great Depression, 1930.
All right, Dave, you said quick version of the story. We go back to the Great Depression. This is where our story begins.
Quickly,
we join our unlikely hero, freedom.
Quick for him is 30 minutes.
Are you going to go through 80 years of history, or are you going to abbreviate this a little bit?
It goes from the 30s to the 80s, and then to the story. So it goes quickly. Let's just focus here. In the 30s, as part of the National Firearm Act, the ATF was given control over suppressors, rifles and shotguns with a barrel of less than 16 inches, and machine guns. So if you wanted any of these fun things, as an American, you would want these things. You had to pay a $200 tax stamp and wait for a background check from the ATF and the FBI, and you actually got like a little stamp on some tax paperwork, and then you could get your item, your machine gun or your suppressor or your short barrel rifle, because that's super dangerous. I don't know. But all those things were regulated. The idea was that the tax made it so only the rich white people could afford those scary things, and that made everybody happy. That is still basically the same today. If you want any of those things, you have to do the tax stamp process. The $200 is a little bit more reasonable for people who just want a suppressor or whatnot. But what changed in 1986 was the government closed the machine gun registry. So you can still buy machine guns today, but not new machine guns. They have to be manufactured before the registry closed in 1986. So if you want like an M16, there's like a limited number now in circulation, and so an M16 costs like $20,000 now. So once again, only the rich people get the fun stuff. So here comes to our modern day ATF screw up story. When you submit your tax stamp to get your suppressor or your machine gun transferred or your short barrel rifle or anything like that, you can either do it like to your person, like to me, Dave. I can have it transferred to my name, or I can create a legal trust and put multiple people in the trust. Like I would put my wife in there, my kids, and that way, like if I died suddenly, that item that I paid my tax stamp money for doesn't just like go away into the nether. They can transfer to someone else in the trust. In a recent legal opinion, which the ATF does, even though they're not supposed to be creating law, they have a lot of authority. It's an opinion, but because they're enforcing the laws, it's like they're writing laws. They have a lot of power. They basically were trying to argue that certain items can't be transferred to trusts because trusts aren't people. Like I mentioned earlier, you can't register new machine guns, and you haven't been able to since 1986. People can't register machine guns since 1986. So a large number of people, several hundred people, created trusts after this ATF opinion came out about trusts aren't people. And they said, well, if trusts aren't people, I'm part of a trust. I have a trust. I want to register a Form 1 for a new machine gun. And that has not happened since 1986.
Which, where are you supposed to get these from, anyway?
You can actually buy the piece of metal, the little automatic sear. You drop it into your lower on an AR-15, and it becomes fully automatic. It keeps the hammer from catching, and as long as the trigger's pulled, it keeps dropping the sear over and over again.
So that's really what they're going to want to buy, is that part.
Yeah, is the little metal piece. So instead of buying a $20,000 M16, you buy a $500 AR and a $12 piece of metal, and you create a machine gun. You manufacture with a Form 1 a machine gun. And obviously paying $12 for an auto sear part to drop in is a lot better than paying $20,000. Well, the ATF got all this paperwork and all these hundreds of people saying we want to create machine guns because we have trust. And you said yourself, ATF, that trust aren't people, so let's have new machine guns. Well, 3 ATF agents went over all the paperwork a little bit too quickly, which for the ATF is about 7 months of waiting. And they approved, after 7 months, hundreds of these new machine guns. The first new machine guns approved since 1986. And then they mailed all the tax stamps before one of their supervisors went over the paperwork and said, holy crap, guys, the machine gun registry is supposed to be closed. You just authorized hundreds of new machine guns. So that they then actually pulled denials for all the paperwork and resent new denial paperwork. And now they're calling all of these people freaking out saying, do not open the first paperwork we sent you. That does not count. And so what's happening right now is everyone is basically lawyering up, and it's about to get wild. So I just love the idea of the ATF like dropping the anvil on their own foot by writing all these opinions without thinking them through, and basically firearm owners finding fun ways to screw with the ATF. Personally, I would love to be able to buy a $12 auto sear and have some fun at the range.
Yeah, my AR is looking a little thirsty over there in the closet. It's like, feed me.
I want the freedom to spend $100 on ammo for 30 seconds once a year.
I know, that would be, you'd be like, whoa, that was $10. I'm done.
No, speaking of that, it sucks.
That was $10.
Dave, I found a range that's about an hour away from me. It's in the big city in the middle of our state, if you know which one I'm referring to.
I'm speaking that it's like a light, like give you a handgun, you walk out into the street, people walking around, just like... That was sweet.
What was that?
You're just like in the middle of a big city.
What? No.
What?
So this story that I was about to tell, I found there's a gun range, Dave.
Joel just heard into the Texan from The Simpsons.
There's a gun range that on my birthday will let me go in and shoot an automatic weapon, like shoot a full magazine through an automatic weapon at the range. Only on my birthday, though, but I'm working on my birthday.
Oh, come on.
Well, I have to, though.
You can take.
Hey, I might have access for us to go to a special gun range.
It's a wedding. It's a wedding, Debbie. I can't take it off. It's the day.
Okay.
It's the day of the beach trip that it starts.
I might have access to a special gun range for us.
A special gun range
That's not far from your house.
We'll talk about this off air, but I'm interested. I am interested. James, I might be able to hook you up with a place to stay, buddy.
I forgot to add one fun, federal prison fact onto that little story. Do you guys want to guess what the?
No, we don't want to guess. Just say it so we don't guess.
Guys, federal prison stories are the best kind of stories.
On the soap scale of 1 to 10.
This
is
kind of
1 or 10 better?
This kind of crime is very high on the soap scale.
Very high on the soap scale.
Very high on the soap scale. I already mentioned that the little piece of metal, the drop-in auto sear that turns your rifle into a full auto, that costs about $12 to manufacture. Mm-hmm. If you're caught with that and you own an AR-15, you want to guess what the minimum sentence is for owning that little piece of metal?
30?
Is a minimum of 10 years in federal prison and a $100,000 fine for owning that piece of metal and an AR-15 at the same time if you don't have that Form 1 and that tax stamp.
If I had those, I would make like 1 million copies of that paperwork. I would like tattoo the paperwork on my body. Like, please, it's right here.
most people have like their tack stamp. If they have an auto sear, it's like in the stock of the rifle, ready to be accessed at all times.
Don't have the stamp, don't drop the soap.
Basically. It is now time for mail time.
Mail time.
Thank you, Joel.
What's that?
It's some dumb thing that Jeremiah does, and I've been doing it.
No, I do big, wide arm sweeps. You might be doing wide arm sweeps. Your arms are so small, I can't see.
I don't have a voice.
I was doing it so you could actually see in the webcam. If I go like this, it looks really weird.
What were you doing again, Joel?
He's like a T-Rex.
Joel just had those like little T-Rex arms. Mail time.
So we're gonna read off some iTunes reviews from this year. You too can rate us on iTunes. Look up Casual Shenanigans Gaming in the iTunes store.
It really helps us out.
Wait, you're on iTunes?
Oh my gosh, Debbie.
That could have been asked off air.
You too can find us on iTunes like the people who are on the podcast.
So anyway, Cody said in June, I found the show from the Dark Souls 2's podcast. I've since gone back and listened to every episode available. You guys do an amazing job. Keep it up. Thanks, Cody. Twins says, I feel they offer a few viewpoints and provide plenty of entertaining content. Thank you, Twins. And then NG223 says, I forgot my password and had to sign in way too many times to leave this, so you know I mean it when I say good work. It's my new favorite podcast. Dave, you got my Total War addiction started all over again with your YouTube videos.
5 years in counting for me.
Way to go, Dave. Getting people addicted to games.
That's what I do.
We have more mail from Simon. Simon says, hey, CSG crew. I really enjoy the podcast. I started off as a casual listener and now wait eagerly to download each episode. Due to the time difference living in Australia, I mainly download from iTunes and listen to it on my commute to work. I play Battlefield, DayZ, and Dark Souls 2, plus a few others, though due to family work commitments, I don't get a lot of game time each week. After hearing your shout-out for iTunes reviews in a previous episode a few months back, I left you guys a review and was puzzled when it seemed like I was the only review. Shortly after, I realized, and this is something I didn't know either, my review was on the Australian iTunes site, so the reviews are region-specific. I was wondering if you get to see all the reviews from different regions. We don't. If you don't, you may find you have more reviews worldwide than you realized. I have attached a screenshot of the Australian reviews. And we have 2 Australian reviews, so thank you, Down Under.
Good eye, mate!
And now we've lost them.
You've officially offended an entire continent. Good job.
Yeah, there's one sentence. So Joel's here.
Nah, just the 5% of it that's not full of like dingoes and criminals. Before I go, thanks to Joel for getting me into Dark Souls 2 and Jerem for posting your Dark Souls videos, which make the learning curve manageable. If my Dark Souls videos helped you at all, you sucked. No offense. Thanks, Dave, for inspiring me to reinstall Battlefield after almost a 6-month break. I'm finding it not perfect, but very enjoyable again. Keep up the good work, guys. It's appreciated. P.S. Dave, watch Battlestar Galactica, one of my favorite TV shows of all time.
Dave, come on.
Yes,
you were sick. You were like bedridden.
Yeah, you were perfectly queued up for a Netflix marathon.
I was on the couch for 5 days, hopped up on cold medicine. I watched the Portlandia where they binge watch all of Battlestar Galactica, like their electricity gets cut off, they like lose their jobs, and like, okay, just one more season. And I thought just briefly, I'm like, I'm sick. I could watch it right now, but I'm like, no. After all this hype, I'm gonna be fully functional, no cold medicine. I'm gonna have my cup of coffee right there, my popcorn. I'm gonna sit down and I'm just gonna absorb the glory.
Procrastinate, not watch Battlestar.
And it'll happen in the next few years, I'm sure.
All right.
We're gonna break your legs and make you watch all the seasons.
All right.
Well, that was dark.
We'll just let that trail off. It is now time for the main topic. Now, several weeks ago on the podcast, you might remember Joel made some disparaging remarks about PC exclusives. Joel, what do you think you said?
I know what I said, because I'm not dumb. What I was trying to say...
No, not what you're trying to say. I imagine someone's never heard this before. What did you say?
What I proposed is that nowadays, now that almost every game is between console and PC or on a 3DS or something, every game tries to be sold on everything possible. That I think consoles now have better exclusives than PC does. And I mean complete exclusives, not just like it comes out and then a year later then GTA 5 comes on PC.
Right.
So that's not on the list. So that was my proposition. I wasn't trying to say that there's more games on consoles, because there obviously isn't. I mean, PC's been around since or 80s. So they have a lot more computer, a lot more programs, a lot more crap too. But so I proposed that we would come up with a list of. I think we have a list of what we're looking forward to, towards coming out soon on console or PC.
And that's
so you
exclusive.
guys,
pushed out.
that are exclusive. There's not coming out on console.
100%
at least
exclusive.
what we know right now. I mean,
right.
Like I'm not even doing ones that are like hinted at, possibly going, but yeah, that's what I proposed. So I'm curious to know what you guys' list is, because I know what PC games are out there.
So Joel doesn't think there's. Well, all right, so Joel, let's start with you, because you're saying that like, if you want the exclusive consoles and where it's at, what's coming out in the next year, or that's already come out this year? The consoles haven't been around that long, so you can include stuff that's come out just like since they've been out, these new generation of consoles. What are the big exclusives that you are looking forward to playing personally, or you have enjoyed playing so far?
And just a heads up, guys, I went back like roughly 1 year, like till late last year, around the console launch period too, just because I'm still playing a lot of those right now.
Yeah, no, that's fine too.
Yes.
I have a list that's just straight up console exclusives, like games that you just can't play anywhere else.
Right.
But then I also have a list of things I'm looking forward to, which is fine, because console goes way back too. You know what I mean? So
it's pretty early in this console cycle to really name everything we're looking forward to, because
that's why we're only talking about like what's the next year look like,
So the list I have right now that I'm really excited and looking forward to playing is the Halo Master Chief Collection. Really excited about that, because if you want to play some of the older games in 1080p, 60 FPS, and Halo 4, I loved it. I played a lot of hours of that, so it'd be fun to play that and skip through the games. That honestly will get me to get an Xbox One at some point, whenever I'm done with my 360, when I'm done with Dark Souls. When I'm done with that, I'll be done. Halo 5, Halo 5 is coming out. Really, really excited about that. I mean, huge Halo fan. Uncharted 4, PS4. The Order 1886, which is a PS4 game. Bloodborne. Zelda Wii U. Deep Down, PS4. I don't know if you guys take a look at that, but it's literally a Dark Souls co-op game, like straight from the start, though. It's 4 players. It looks awesome.
It doesn't take an hour to get hooked up together.
Yeah. Beyond Two Souls, they're releasing HD of that for the PS4 as well, but I actually want to play it, because I didn't play it on the PS3, but that's coming out. And then Drive Club. That looks really, really good. I'm not that huge of a race, like a driving game type person, but I love playing Dirt, and that game kind of looks like fun, because it's just like you can drive from one side of the country to the other side. It looks really fun. So those are the games that I'm looking forward to that I believe are just console exclusives. So I believe Zelda is console exclusive.
So James, do you have a list?
I actually helped Joel make his list.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, most of those I made.
That's a solid list. Now I'm going to go before you, Dave, if you don't mind.
Mine's actually a little bit long, because I'm a whore.
Now these are games. These are just games that I myself plan on playing, assuming they don't totally suck when they come out. Like, we don't know for sure. If a game totally bombs and is terrible, obviously I won't play it. The same as you guys won't play some like those exclusives you're looking forward to if they're horrible. So first, number one, and if you want to talk about PC exclusives, you can't do much better than Star Citizen. Holy moly, I'm excited about Star Citizen. Everything I see from it looks like it's going to be absolutely insane. I do like space sci-fi. Yes, Dave.
Can I just pause you for a second? That link you sent me, Jeremiah, as a 3D artist, I watched it like 3 times through. Have you guys seen the ship aging, physically based textures in Star Citizen?
I don't think I've seen that.
No, but I've seen old ships in Battlestar Galactica, so I feel like that's pretty much seen it.
So with physically based textures, like, it simulates how surfaces actually look in real life, and it works in layers. Jeremiah sent me this video. Like, you buy your ship, right, Jeremiah, and it's like brand new, and like everything's all shiny and glossy, and like all the plastic's nice and new. And, like over time, the edges of the metal start to wear, and like grime gets in the plastic, and it gets like a little bit dull, and like stuff gets kind of grimy. And over time, it looks like Serenity from Firefly. Like, it looks like she's just been all over the verse, and it just that video, that texturing technology.
But the game is gorgeous. It should be huge. Now I do have to clarify, it's not out yet, so it could always end up sucking. But it is gorgeous already. I've played the dogfighting module. It looks incredible.
I'm gonna get that definitely when I get the Oculus.
It performs pretty well. Like, that game might make me get an Oculus Rift and a joystick, but that game should be crazy. The next one is The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Might be the best looking game I've ever seen, and
that's coming out on PS4.
It was announced as a PC exclusive.
No.
Cite your sources.
See if you can find one, and I'll pull it off. But I believe it was announced as an exclusive.
They just had it at Gamescom.
Well, PC games are at Gamescom.
No, I mean it was during the Sony event.
Oh, yeah. Find me some confirmation on that. Okay, I can move that off the list if I need to. The Forest. I'm waiting until that comes out. I'm purposely not watching much or playing much of it. Debbie, is this one of the games you're following? I thought I heard you talking about it.
The Vanishing Amelia card will be PS4 exclusive for a healthy period, so it's not coming to PC first.
It's coming to PC in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think it means between the other.
It might be console exclusive for consoles on the PS4.
Yeah, I already bought my copy.
So. Okay, well, it's coming on PS4.
Sorry, Debbie, go ahead.
Yes, I've been watching way too much of The Forest.
How would you describe The Forest to someone who doesn't know anything about it?
Scary, probably. Like, it makes me jump just watching people live stream it.
But what is it, though? Like, what type of game?
It's a survival game, kind of like DayZ, but it's not multiplayer yet. It's supposed to be multiplayer one day.
You're all alone.
But it's more about more about fortifying. You can build like a 3-walled house.
Yeah, you can actually build more
traps.
structures. It kind of reminds me of what H1Z1 is becoming, except it has cannibals in it that will eat you if you don't kill them first.
And they will actually eat others that you kill too. You can like chop people into bits. Put their arms on the thing and make like creepy.
To me, it looks like the better version of Rust. Like when I see it, I'm like, "Ooh, this is what I wanted out of Rust."
Yes.
Ultra even had a wife in the game.
That's a little weird.
What
got me? A wife.
Then he chopped her up.
Watching some of the Forest footage, I love how the AI even bugs out sometimes. Because some of the creepiest moments from just the little bits of gameplay I've watched on YouTube and Twitch just here and there. I'm trying not to spoil it like Jeremiah is, but some of those guys, like when they're stalking you and they're just making eye contact and watching, and like you see each other, and it's the suspense and like the build up that really gets to you from what I've seen.
It's not going to be a game for Dave.
And then the AI
it's
on
too
the
scary.
It's not a what, Joel?
It's not a game for Dave.
The AI on the cannibals is intense. Like if you kill a cannibal that was scouting, the rest will come after you because their scout did not come back.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm trying not to do anything with it until it comes out, but that should be good. Elite Dangerous, which looks like it could be similar to Star Citizen, but maybe a little more arcadey. I'll probably only play Star Citizen or Elite Dangerous. It just depends on which one ends up being better.
Dave, your internet looks bad. Nobody's noticing.
Yeah. Fortnite. Fortnite is supposed to be a PC exclusive. It runs on Unreal Engine 4. It looks awesome. It kind of has the Team Fortress 2 feel to combat and stuff, but you make forts and defend against things, and that should be a lot of fun. Cyberpunk 2077, which is, I believe, developed by CD Projekt Red, isn't it, Dave?
It is.
It is, and it looks like a Deus Ex made by CD Projekt Red type of thing, like a cyberpunk adventure. I mean, it's called Cyberpunk 2077.
I mean, how do you know it's exactly PC exclusive? Because now that CD Projekt is bringing all their Witcher games.
It was announced as a PC exclusive. They haven't said anything about it coming to the consoles. So
as of right now, it's still exclusive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Assetto Corsa. Oh man, for all you Gran Turismo fans, Assetto Corsa and Project Cars. I'm including them both in the same thing. This is really where the PC gets to shine. These graphics are unreal. How good these things look.
Unreal, you say?
But the graphics are insane.
Hold on. Let me stop you for a second. I'm reading an article. I don't know. Are you sure Cyberpunk's not going to try to be on the consoles?
When it was announced as a PC exclusive. So, I mean, again, all this is subject to change.
Project Cars is also on PS4.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm including Assetto Corsa and Project Cars at the same time. No, look at screenshots of Project Cars. It's going to be so handicapped if it makes it to the PS4.
It doesn't matter. It's not, that's not the point of it.
I'm including them as the same thing. Assetto Corsa is definitely a PC exclusive. I'm saying either one of those games would be awesome. You can go either way. I personally have Assetto Corsa and I love it. I don't play it that much. It's still in early access, but Assetto Corsa is amazing. And Project Cars, the real experience is going to be on the PC. But yes, that one's not technically an exclusive, but I'm including it on the list because it's so similar to Assetto Corsa. Next,
the PS4 video of Project Cars looks pretty insane.
It does. It looks good if you've seen the PC one, though. Yeah, it looks like real footage. Next car game. If you like destruction physics, Next car game, which is also in early access, is awesome. That game takes destruction to a new level. The name's kind of dumb, but if you like Dirt, Joel, imagine Dirt with like awesome destruction on absolutely everything. And
it's actually a racing
amazing.
game because everything I've seen is just more of like a Kentucky Derby type thing.
They have Derby stuff, but they also have races. But the stuff that makes the rounds on the internet is the Derby style stuff, because they released like a physics simulator, which was just like a big, a big physics basin where you could just drive around and like smash through things. It was pretty fun. Tropico 5. Consoles have still never really managed to crack the whole real-time strategy thing, which is one of the downsides of using a controller. It just isn't really suited for that, which is okay. But
I think though the PS4 could maybe handle it though with the little touchpad.
Maybe. The problem is deep real-time strategy games. No, definitely not. So you can make one less deep, but then typically people don't like them. Like the new SimCity could probably go on a console, but does anyone want it on a console?
I wanted it on PC.
But Tropico 5, I think, is way better than SimCity 5. It's the best city simulator or country simulator I've ever played, probably, and I really, really like it. And that's very, very PC exclusive. And then Divinity Original Sin, which I haven't played yet, but I'm waiting for it to go on sale. It is supposed to be like one of the best RPGs in years, and that's a PC exclusive. The graphics.
That's where Daniel went, by the way.
Oh, that's where Daniel is?
We lost Daniel to Divinity. I've talked to him for like a half an hour about that game, and I really do want to get it, but I'm scared. I'm really scared.
It's like Dragon Age Plus.
Yeah, it's a very much a throwback to the classic RPG quality from what I've heard.
So that's my list, which I think are all really solid exclusive games. And yes, Project Cars isn't technically exclusive, but try to understand what I was trying to say, Joel. All right.
I understood.
All right. Dave?
My list is long because I'm including both games from the last year that I've already played, games that I have bought and are on my list to play, and upcoming games where I've at least like watched the trailer and like I'm interested in actually playing it. These are all things I do want to play. Is my connection totally dying here? What is going on?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's not horrible. Just keep going. Your audio isn't terrible, though.
Okay. I'm not sure what's going on. My connection is doing its normal thing. So, I want to I want to preface this by saying that the first of all, I think that exclusives are a terrible thing for the industry. I don't like exclusives for any platform. I will say that I don't like it when cross-platform harms one particular branch, like Battlefield 3 has limitations because of the multi-platform development.
But I mean that will happen no matter what, though. You can't stop
except it's not good on any of them.
You know,
Battlefield 3.
Oh, Battlefield 3.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying, Joel, is there are some games that would have been better on PC if they had not been multi-platform.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. Yeah, but you were just saying you hate that one system has an exclusive game.
Yeah,
but I'm like,
that's Nintendo's business model, kind of.
I don't mind. I'll put it like this: I prefer games to be cross-platform as long as those platforms are developed for their strengths. How about that? Is that a good way of putting it?
Yeah.
So everybody gets the game, but everybody has development focus that makes it best for their platform. That's best case scenario, and yeah.
Okay, so your list, and try to move quick.
I had one second point, and Jeremiah tried to argue this, and I'm going to put my foot down and say that there are games that I had not put on this list that I wanted to because they are different games in my opinion. The Witcher 3 on PC is not going to be the same as The Witcher 3 on consoles. Mm-hmm. It's going to be very similar, but in my opinion, the true version, as the developers are envisioning it, is going to be on PC.
What's the true version?
Maximum quality. No exceptions.
So you're saying if you have a crappy computer, you can still run it at really low?
Yeah.
You could technically say that then about any PC game that could get better graphics than a console. That's kind of stupid.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's my opinion.
That's his opinion, guys. That's his opinion. It's fine.
I'm of the opinion if I can't run it at a decent frame rate too on PC, then I'm not also experiencing the full game. But at least I have the option to later on down the line play through it again when I upgrade.
That is true. I played The Witcher 2 the first time on a Radeon 6850 at like 18 FPS on medium.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm looking forward on going back through it like now that I can actually run it at 60 FPS and doing it again.
I'm doing the same thing for The Witcher 2. I played through almost half the game now, again, with Uber sampling turned on and everything, and it is glorious. I feel like I finally have the full experience as the developers intended the game to be seen.
Joel, I think there is something to be said, and we don't have to argue about it now, but I think there is something to be said that there are, on occasion, games that come out that are significantly different on different platforms, enough that I think it'd be reasonable to call it, like, yes, it's not really the same game going to multiple platforms.
No, I know what he's trying to say. I know exactly what he's trying to say. I mean, like, I wouldn't want people seeing my film at 240p. I wouldn't, you know... It's still the same movie, but I'm like, I wouldn't say you're getting the same experiences if you saw it on a 240p iPhone than if you saw it on a big screen, 5.1 surround. You know?
With the Battlefield games, the PC versions of the maps.
I just feel like I could easily argue, say, oh well, Dave, you're experiencing full 5.1 surround how they really intended to. You know, you only have 2.1.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but Joel, what would you say about? Okay, go ahead.
I feel like the difference, it would be more of like, if you played Witcher 2 on the computer and then you played Witcher 2 on a PS1, something where it's like so hard you freaking can't see anything. But Witcher 2 looks pretty decent on Xbox 360. It doesn't look bad at all. Like, there's some stuff that obviously textures look pretty bad, but it doesn't harm the gameplay. Like, you don't go, oh my gosh, it looks so bad that you can't play it.
If you can imagine, Joel...
Payday 2, I had Payday 2 on PS3 for free. I tried it, I instantly deleted it. It looked so bad on the PS3, I was like, screw it. And I just heard myself.
But what do you think about like Battlefield 3? The maps were smaller on the consoles and had fewer players because they couldn't handle it. To me, one of the big fundamental...
Did they actually have smaller maps? I thought they only just had
less flags and less players.
Yeah, less flags, less players. One of the defining characteristics of Battlefield is 64-player multiplayer action. So if you're only getting 32, I would argue that fundamentally the game is going to play very, very differently, and you're not getting the real...
Well, that makes sense.
So we're talking an exclusive. We're not talking real experience.
I understand.
That was the whole purpose of this conversation.
I understand.
We have a list of actual exclusives.
I know. The only thing I was trying to say was I think it could be reasonable to say Battlefield 3 is a different game on PC than it is on consoles. So I understand why.
And that was my original point. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Dave. Go ahead.
All right. And I'm just going to run through the list, and if you guys have questions, I'll just send the link if you have any questions.
And these are ones you're looking forward to, not ones you've previously played.
Well, he's played
within the last year.
Yeah. Like since the consoles came out, just like you could say Uncharted, would also include like Uncharted 3. Well, no, I guess not that.
Well, I didn't put that in the looking forward to is Uncharted 4.
That's true. Okay. All right, go ahead, Dave.
Going through my list here, we have ARMA 3, which is
why didn't I put that on there?
That's a blockbuster. I've been modding the crap out of ARMA 3, making missions in it, just playing around with the vehicles. That game is a sandbox of just PC master race gloriousness. that game is everything PC. Actually, the official ARMA 3 Twitter account retweeted one of my tweets. I sent them yesterday where I added tactical beards to the game. I tweeted ARMA 3. I'm like, guys, I just added a tactical beard folder to my ARMA 3 folder. Like, this game is amazing. Of course, Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which is, it looks like a painting, like a very realistic painting, beautiful looking game. Banished, Divinity Original Sin, Star Citizen. I'm not buying in yet, but I am watching with both eyes wide open. The Forest, Dreadnought, which is a very cool looking like ship building game, and fighting game. Kerbal Space Program, which I've been watching for years now, actually, and there's a lot of early access stuff on my list that I'm just waiting for it to get closer to beta before I jump in, that I am really excited to try. I included the Age of Empires 2 relaunch because I played a bunch of that when I bought it. Joel put Halo on his list, so I don't want to hear it. Asylum, Chivalry, City Skylines I'm super pumped about. This War of Mine, I saw it on another list today, and I had forgotten. I went to the trailer again, and I had already liked it back in February and had forgotten all about it. We don't know a whole lot about it still, but it looks like a very interesting, almost Homefront mixed with DayZ, like apocalyptic game. H1Z1 is looking better and better as time goes by. Cyberpunk 2077, Firewatch, Kingdom Come, Gary's Mod, Black Desert, Tropico 5. I played Renegade X, which is the standalone version reboot, I guess, of the old Command & Conquer FPS. Mm-hmm. And stylistically, it was actually too much for me to handle for more than a few hours, but it blew my mind how much they nailed. Did you guys ever play Renegade back in the day when it first came out? Command & Conquer Renegade? Mm-mm. It's a very unique FPS game. I played the daylights out of it. back before Battlefield or anything. Excuse me. I kind of moved past that style of like total over the top shooters though. Didn't play a whole lot of it, but it was so impressive. Next car game, which is essentially a car crash physics demo in early access right now, but that is next gen. That is amazing looking stuff. Rust and especially the developers like Experimental Branch Reboot is looking really good. Active Aggression, Toxic, which is actually advertising itself as a PC-centered shooter. Like it's designed around over-the-top Unreal Tournament style PC dying. I think I'm finding the limits of my voice right here.
Do you want me to read your list for you and you chime in?
Yeah, help me out here.
No, seriously, do you want me to?
Yeah, dive in.
Okay. Civilization Beyond Earth should be the next game in the Civilization series. Always awesome games. Rome 2 Total War, now that they fixed it, that should be a really awesome game to play.
Game of the Year edition / the fixed version is coming out in 2 weeks.
Project Zomboid should also be a great game. Enemy Starfighter, I don't know much about. Dave is excited for it. What's that, Dave?
A super arcadey flight sim. Okay. It has graphic style like what's the space sim game coming out, Joel,
No Man's
for
Sky.
PC and PS4? It looks just like No Man's Sky, but it's like just starfighting. Looks really cool.
Ultimate General Gettysburg, which I'm guessing is real-time strategy.
I sent that to Dave.
It's developed by a nerdy historian. I'm actually really excited about that.
Northern Shadow, Grim Dawn, Survarium. Is that supposed to be Survivor or something, or is that spelled correctly?
You had it. It's Survarium.
Survarium, okay.
It's from the developers of the Stalker series, actually.
Okay. Routine.
Oh, quick note on Survarium, Joel. Did you hear that they're approaching in the next 6 months the end of their FPS testing for the game, and they're going to start like adding all the maps together and making the MMO part next for Survarium.
That's cool.
So multiplayer Stalker might.
Joel said with not a hint of excitement in his voice.
Well, it's a mod, so no. Like maybe
What?
I mean, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Survarium?
Do
Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I've been following it for a while. I know exactly what you're
It's
talking
not a
about.
mod at all. It's they built their own game engine. They've been working on it for 2.5 years.
I guess so, but we'll see. I think it's gonna be awesome if they finish it and it turns out good. But
I don't understand the skepticism. Like what's the problem with Survarium right now? I'm genuinely curious.
Just from the videos I've seen. I mean, it looks awesome, but it's like I don't know. Every game that's like, oh, we're gonna make this awesome thing, I like doubt now.
Well, that's probably
all.
a healthy
I think it
perspective.
looks awesome. I mean, I wish DayZ looked like Survarium. That's what I wish. So
it's
I
playable right now too.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep moving. We have a ways to go. Routine, Wasteland 2, The Sims 4. Really, Dave? The Sims 4.
I knew I was gonna get flack for this, but I'm starting to
much
feel the
deserved.
Draw. I'm starting to feel the draw. I was a huge Sims addict back in the day.
Have you read the Sims 4 reviews?
Yeah, 79, 80.
It's like the Sim City version of The Sims.
Just give us some time to put some DLC out.
Jeremiah, don't forget, Dave played like 170 hours.
Wait a minute. Sims 4? Is that not on the console?
DayZ so far, and I feel like I've gotten an awesome, good feel of DayZ. So,
Joel, you're way off my hours for SimCity. I just checked. I want you to.
I mean, I know you had time where you just sat there and doing nothing and letting it rank up money for you, but still, that's a lot of. You got your money's worth out of that game.
Did you say 100 hours?
I said 160 hours. Something.
I think it's still like probably half idle time, like where I'm just it's like in a window I'm doing other stuff. But yeah, 275 hours.
It won't be exclusive for long.
Maybe not. Yeah, they can have that one. Nether.
I played it.
Yeah, that's not on my list of it. I'm going to challenge on that one, Dave.
That's not on my list for PC stuff.
I put on the list of
take it off,
indie games that are worth $3. Are Elite Dangerous, Assault Squad 2, Red Orchestra 2, Lifeless Planet.
I started that this week. I'm really enjoying that so far.
It's very good. War Game European Escalation, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Woo!
If they pull this off, holy crap.
World in Conflict. Is that a new version? That's
no, it's still the old one. I went back to it this though.
No, Dave, that doesn't fit the parameters. It's like 8 years old, Dave.
But I helped make it.
Why do you get Red Orchestra 2? It's been out for a long time now.
Yeah, I am challenging you on some of these, Dave. That's
that's okay. We have a list.
Games.
We have a list of better exclusives coming.
Yeah, you have a lot of really good RTS and FPS games.
We can take Red Orchestra 2 off. I put it back on there because they relaunched it last year.
Okay.
Is Mountain Blade 2? Is that coming out soon?
It's in development. It's been in development for a while. They're actually moving pretty slowly with it.
Because I might actually try that.
Okay, Among the Sheep, Company of Heroes. Take Company of Heroes off, Dave. What on earth? That game is super old.
No, the new one just came out last year.
Leave it on there. It's okay.
No, it came out this year, and Daskro loves it. I'm just waiting for the $5 sale because I'm that guy.
Dino D-Day, Killing Floor.
Did you play Dino D-Day?
That was 2 years ago, wasn't it? Dino D-Day?
Yeah.
That was 2012.
Yeah, Dave, your list is not really sticking to...
I'll pull it off. And
right,
Killing Floor is supposed to be Killing Floor 2.
We should probably take off Gary's mod too. I mean, that's a freaking old game. Yeah, it's been around for forever.
Well,
but...
there's new stuff comes out for it all the time. So like,
that's a game that Dave plays a lot, right? Because this is games we're talking about. We play a lot.
I'm going to challenge Dave on some of that. I think all mine were ones I really do play or
Jeremiah,
am
you did a good job. You did a good job.
I played Gary's mod last week.
Convinced me that those are games you'd actually play or be really interested to play. A lot of these, Dave, not even half of them I think you will even touch.
Give me some names.
Oh my gosh, Renegade X or next car game. Like unless it's like 50
Renegade
cents,
X.
you will log in for 20 seconds to see the graphics, and you will never play it again.
I'm kind of on Joel's side here, Dave. What?
That look on your face.
That.
He's like, I don't want to say anything, but that's how I feel too.
Dave said he was going to buy the game Rise. Like, that game just looks really dumb, except the graphics look amazing. But he said he would buy it just for the graphics alone. Which, I mean, he's a graphics person, so that's awesome.
I will play through
But
it.
you cannot, that shouldn't be on the list for, hey, I can't wait to play that game. It's on, think of that as like a SDK. That's not a game for you then. It's you just want to see the graphics. You won't play through the whole game.
Joel, who are you to tell me how to enjoy the games I play?
Oh, boy.
I'm just...
Your father...
I mean, honestly, if I play a game in a way that I enjoy and I get my $5 worth and I was excited for it and I bought it and I enjoyed it, isn't that the whole point?
This is the next social rights. This is the next civil rights battle we have to overcome.
I enjoy watching the little DVD thing go across the screen. Does that make it good entertainment?
Did you pay for it? Did you look
the
forward to it?
screensaver on your DVD player?
Yeah, I paid for it. Yeah, I paid for the player.
Did you pre-order it like a true fan?
No, I got it on sale.
Any other names, Joel?
I guess you're right. So we'll just take out the ones that are ancient, since that wasn't really matching the thing. Because a lot of these,
you can take out World in Conflict and.
Are you gonna play Project Zomboid?
I already bought it 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you already bought it?
Yeah, I've already played a half an hour.
You're busy, Dave.
All right, so that's our list. Joel, did you have another
any other
list?
names? Hold on, I want to hear any more call-outs that Joel's got for.
I think Nether needs to come off, Dave.
Nether was a reach. I enjoyed it the first time, but the second time when James and I played it a few weeks ago, and I found that stupid golden box you had to buy the key for. No,
I know. Rome 2 Total War is really old now too. I mean,
it's less than a year old. And
no way. Yes, dude, we've been doing recordings every like 6 months. I feel like.
No, it's less than. It came out in late September 2013, and it's relaunching this month with the complete We Fixed the Game edition.
I think.
Additionally, I put Rome 2 on there because they're announcing a new Total War game in the next week, but we just don't know what it is yet. But the entire series I've been playing for 10 years. So consider it Rome 2 and a ridiculous library of Total War games I've been playing for 10 years.
Okay, so this is the quality of the exclusives that you guys are just like.
No,
awesome.
I talked about really awesome exclusives. Okay,
Yeah.
Dave, I'm going to challenge you on Age of Empires 2 relaunch because that game is 13 years
Yeah.
old now. I don't care
That's
if they
fine.
relaunch it, pull it off. I mean, I love Age
Someone
of Empires
already
2.
did, actually.
I've probably spent more time on Age of Empires 2 maybe than any other game ever. But but no, the rest of your list, again, I think you're maybe a little optimistic on how many of these you're really going to play and how many you're going to like load up and play for an hour and then move on to one of the other 40 games you always have installed. But knowing you will enjoy the hour you spend on it knowing you. So
within 2 years, I will own at least 75% of the games on this list.
Well, yeah, I own a lot of games. Doesn't mean I play them.
And we'll play 5%.
Yeah, that's the problem with Steam sales. Okay, I own a ton of games. You know what I play? I play ARMA, DayZ, Payday. Like, I play the games we all play together. I barely play anything else. this week for the first time I loaded up a single player game. I haven't done that in like 2 months. I played the Expendabros for a while. The Expendabros is awesome. I didn't put that on my list because it's
is that co-op at all?
I don't know, but it's awesome.
It sounds like it should be.
I know that game sounds like it'd be awesome on console to play.
Anyway, all right. So Joel, did you have another list? I heard hints of another list.
We have. Oh yes.
All right.
Rumors, whispers,
whispers in the dark. A new list being pushed out from the nethers. Joel's nethers, to be specific.
Okay,
don't say nether.
The list that we were trying to make are games that we actively do play, have played, really enjoy, and are looking forward to. And I think this is why, I mean, consoles really have a hugely diverse selection of really good, exclusive, top quality games. And so, well, I'll just, James, you want to just go back and forth on this? Or do you want me to just do it?
I don't have the list in front of me.
Oh, you don't? Oh. Okay.
You guys just go ahead and go back and forth.
Okay, here we go. We'll go
that.
quick. Okay. Last of Us. Uncharted series.
I watched Last of Us on YouTube.
Red Dead Redemption. Infamous series, which is 4 games now. Heavy Rain. Gears of War. God of War. Demon Souls. Destiny. Halo 3 and 4. Halo ODST. Halo Reach. Little Big Planet. Killzone 1, 2, 3, and the latest PS4 game, which I forget the name of. Ni no Kuni.
Shadowfall.
That's it, yeah. Ni no Kuni. Awesome. Made by Studio Ghibli. Awesome RPG game. Metroid. Fable 2. Mario platforming games. So just think of every Mario platforming games out there. Resistance series that was on the PS3.
Well, you're kind of expanding your list too now, Joel. You're not just going in the last year. You're going.
No. This is straight PC exclusive games. Yeah, there's not just
console exclusive.
I already told you the list of looking forward to.
So we can make our own list of just exclusives.
Yeah. That's what we talked about earlier.
It's not just exclusive. It's quality exclusives.
Okay.
Yeah, it's games that you're gonna play. It's not just every game because obviously PC has more games. That's a given. I was just talking about the actual quality of exclusive games and the variety of them. So Mario platforming, Resistance series, Kirby games, Donkey Kong games, Mario Kart, Mario Party, Metal Gear Solid 4, Animal Crossing series, Ninja Gaiden series, Star Fox, GoldenEye 007, Shadow of the Colossus.
Take me back to my childhood here, Joel.
Shadow of the Colossus, Ico, Journey, Sonic the Hedgehog, Gran Turismo, Forza 2.
That's a really.
I think Forza 1 is up.
That's a solid list. That's a very solid list. So okay, I'm sorry, I missed it earlier. I'm bringing up a list now just so I can scan through them.
I get the reason why I was talking about this even a couple weeks ago is I was thinking now and more. I was a huge PC. I played PC before I owned a console. Okay, so I never had a console before. Maybe 8 years ago, I got an Xbox 360. That's because my computer was just freaking old, and I kind of got out of PC parts and stuff, so I didn't know how to build one for a while. I was like, I'll get an Xbox 360 for BioShock at the time. But I was thinking, like Half-Life 2. Half-Life is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm like, wow, I can't even add Half-Life on the series of PC exclusive anymore. I mean, I'm going to play Half-Life 3 on the PC. I'm going to buy every effing part I can to make that game sing, because that's the top game. That's what I rank of all games. That's I love it, right? Mm-hmm. But thinking now, I'm nowadays, other than, I guess MMOs or things like that, or RTS games, that was a huge on Dave's list, and variety of smaller indie developer first-person shooters, now obviously survival type games now. Almost every game now is between console and PC now, because they want it to sell well. If it's any kind of AAA, So there's a huge amount of games on PC, but I'm it's slowing down now.
All right, so let's do the same thing you did. I'm going through. This is just from between the year 2000 and 2013. There were 2000.
Oh, you found the list I sent you.
There were 2,381 PC exclusives.
Can you narrow it down to AAA quality?
Well, I'm just scanning. I'm not going to read.
Okay.
I'm just scanning. These are games I have played or know a ton about. Maybe I haven't played this particular one. Well, first we'll just start with Dota, Dota 2, League of Legends, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo up until Diablo 3
became the consoles. And these are ones that you're going to play, right? Because the ones I was listening to,
I have spent time with them, yes. Yeah. I'm not currently playing any of those now. The entire Age of Empires series, don't forget how monstrously huge that series was. The Amnesia games, the Anno games, the ARMA series, I'm sorry, I'm scrolling as fast as I can. The entire Battlefield series up until the Bad Company games, so arguably the best Battlefield games. The Cabela's Big Game Hunter Collection.
Wait a minute, Battlefield wasn't completely exclusive before Bad Company.
Up until Bad Company, it was. There was a Battlefield Heroes.
Battlefield Bad Company was the first console.
Yeah, there was a Battlefield.
There
was a Battlefield 2 thing that was ported, but like it was a totally different. It's not. That's like its own
Battlefield Modern Warfare.
Yeah, it's its own special little thing.
Was that like right after Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out? They kind of like, let's port it.
No, it was before that. Actually,
yeah.
2006.
Really?
All the Civilization games, all the Command and Conquer games, except for they did port a couple to the consoles, I think, but like not the same exact versions. Most of the Command and Conquer series is exclusive. The Counter-Strike series, Company of Heroes series.
Counter-Strike is on Xbox though.
It is now. The older ones weren't, and it wasn't for many years. I still think as a series, it could count as a PC exclusive series.
Tell a competitive Counter-Strike player that Counter-Strike's also on consoles.
That's like if you want to get
laughed out of the
Team
room.
Fortress 2. I think Team Fortress 2 counts as a PC exclusive.
No, I agree. I'm just talking about games nowadays they're now going both. Like you're just finding less and less exclusive ones.
The Dungeon Siege games, which were massive. Eve.
I missed out on all the Dungeon Siege games.
The Empire Earth series. Europa Universalis. The EverQuest series. The FIFA, is FIFA listed? FIFA Manager, that doesn't count. No one cares about that.
Those games are those are huge.
FIFA Manager.
The football management games.
Why?
Those are freaking huge.
All right, I guess I don't get them. Someone else can.
EverQuest is coming to PS4, guys.
That doesn't count as one that I care about, but
I think Debbie's gone to sleep at this
every
point.
single game, dude.
The Heroes
of these games are coming.
A lot of them are. The Heroes of Might and Magic series. I'm just listing off entire series. I'm skipping like a lot of standalone games because I'm scrolling quickly. Blah 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 blah. The King's Quest games. I already said League of Legends. Roller Coaster Tycoon series. The Magic series. Mall Tycoon. The Mech Warrior series, also a monstrous game. The entire Total War series.
Was Mech Warrior on the console? I feel like there was a port at one point.
That's one of those series, like they've had so many different versions. Probably something has made it to console at some point. We already did the Mountain Blade series, the entire Nancy Drew series.
Triple A.
Oh, you got me there.
The Neverwinter Nights series.
Mech Warrior 2 is on PlayStation 2
Okay.
So and PlayStation 1.
They've had some on there then. I take that back. The Planetary Annihilation series. I mean, give me some credit, Joel. It's hard to know, like, did this game get ported to the PC back in 2001? I don't know.
Well, that's what we were trying to make that.
Right.
We were trying to create that list earlier today. It was top quality
I didn't know we were doing this part of the list. I said the Roller Coaster Tycoon ones, the Stalker series. I mean, I've already listed way more than you.
Oh, the Stalker series. Holy crap.
I've already listed way more than you. SeaWorld Adventure Parks, Joel.
Listing more doesn't make that, but again,
these are all major, from the same time periods you guys listed. These are all major quality games that, like, when they came out, were probably the best-selling games of the couple months they were out.
Wii Sports probably sold more than all those combined.
That doesn't count. It was bundled with the console.
It doesn't. No, it counts on the list.
That's like saying more people.
It's the best-selling game of all time.
More people have used the iPhone picture app than any third-party picture app. Well, that's probably true.
But it is its console exclusive and it sold consoles, so it goes hand in hand with being an exclusive.
The entire Star Trek series, which a lot of these things used to be huge and aren't really anymore, so it's kind of easy to overlook them, but they were huge when they were out. The Elder Scrolls series up until Oblivion. Although, no, I think actually Morrowind came out on the original Xbox, but that was one of the ones that was really handicapped when it came out, so you could debate about whether or not that one really counts. The Sims series, which, again, I don't really care about. I'm just mentioning because so many other people do.
Part of my life for a while.
The Tribes series, the Ultima Online series.
I actually had a Tribes game on PS2.
Okay, well,
I've got it. I'll show it to you.
Again, this is one of those things where I'm talking about Tribes 2, Tribes Ascend, and Tribes of Vengeance. If they ported another one, I'm sorry, I didn't know about that. These games were still exclusives. Warhammer 40,000, Wasteland 2.
Exclusive? Warhammer?
The X series. X2, X3, and X4. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Like, that's all major stuff. It's whether or not you like them, Joel. Those were all huge games, obviously, except for the jokes I listed in there. But those were all massively huge games.
But we weren't listing huge games that
I would be interested in.
I didn't even mention Final Fantasy. That has a zillion of them on consoles now. That
That's a big deal.
But the thing is, they're not my games that I would play though.
I know. All of these ones I was listing were ones that like either I've played or have played games almost exactly like them, so I probably would enjoy them. I just haven't happened to play those particular ones. Like it's all stuff that I would play. Really, Joel, I don't think there's any comparison.
My strategy for console exclusives is just wait until Joel like forces a console down my throat and borrow it for a month to play through something.
Now, obviously, you guys like your RTS games, which is a zillion of them on PC. There are, because that's like, I mean, it works well with a mouse. The same way the iPhone has tap games. You don't have tap games on PCs because it's fun to use on your iPhone. Tap games, they work. But honestly, I mean, you guys don't see the trend the last just couple of years. It's just like, I mean, big, huge games. I mean, they're not coming out on PC.
Yeah, but there's tons of big, huge games that used to come out on consoles. They're no longer coming out on consoles either. Like, they're not coming out at all because the developers are going away. I don't think it's a move to consoles. I think it's a lot of the AAA game studios are going away, so you're left with the proprietary studios that are owned by the console manufacturers, and you're left with PC-exclusive studios. Like, there's more of a divide, and then a lot of games are just going fully multi-platform. But I think both sides are kind of getting messed over the same amount.
Yeah. And you only had, what you said, you had just the GameCube, or what'd you have?
Me?
Yeah.
No, he's had a bunch. Dave is the one that had the GameCube.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm the GameCube.
GameCube, PlayStation 2, N64, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii. I've had pretty much everything since 2000. An Xbox.
I can definitely tell,
original.
with Dave not wanting to, isn't interested in those, the Mario games. It's like, because he's never really gotten to really fully enjoy a lot of them. So it's he's not like, I can't wait for the Zelda games.
Like, I found like all the secrets in Mario 64.
You did?
I love that. Yeah.
You're
missing out on a lot of good stuff then.
Yeah. I played every major console series that came out from the first Nintendo up through the N64, and some of the GameCube stuff too. Because I had a GameCube. But around the time that I was playing the GameCube less and less, I got into more strategy stuff and just moved over to PC. That's just kind of what happened.
Debbie, chip in, yes.
I have a list.
Yes, Debbie, let's hear your list.
It's not exclusive to anything. It's just games that I enjoy because they are fun.
Look who can read the directions.
I don't
care. Debbie, you play games for fun regardless of platform? What a revolutionary concept.
Just like a woman, she's not even trying to argue about it. Oh, what a loser.
Okay, so here's my list. GTA 5 when it comes out for PC. The Forest. Maybe DayZ. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, you haven't put any time into that so far.
Oh, okay. It's not done yet. Witcher 3. H1Z1. Banished, Skyrim, and TF2.
That's a solid list.
You're looking forward to more Skyrim. So looking forward. I can't wait until it comes out. Another mod for my PC so I can play more Skyrim.
You need to keep watching Ultra's Fallout 3 video so you can get into it.
I finished the first one today, and I am on the second one.
That's going to be on your list soon.
I'm enjoying it so far.
I seriously hate that guy because it's like... I would pay to be able to just...
Thank you for supporting us on Patreon, Ultra Grunt. We don't hate you. Joel, we've talked about this before.
Let Joel finish his sentence because it's a pretty good point. I agree with Joel on this.
I would easily put down $100 to replay Fallout 3 without knowing how to without playing it for the first time.
Oh man.
Like, as much as I love Half-Life 2, like, I would be okay with never seeing Half-Life 3 as long as Fallout games continue to come out and be awesome. If they would come out a little quicker, that would be better. But like, man, nothing beats Fallout. Like, just that experience.
Speaking of lists, it was a little off topic, so I didn't want to bring it up during the main discussion, but I didn't want to just drop the largest and most valuable PC exclusive, but you know what? I'm going to drop it anyway, Joel. How about every modification ever created is a PC exclusive?
Yeah, that's true.
And that actually segues really well to something that I'm going to completely plagiarize from John. We were walking out to the car today, and we were talking about mods and stuff, because he made me laugh because Dave was talking about, he was playing, you guys were playing Arma 3 and you had some awesome fun with the chopper or whatever, something like that, right? And he was like, that's such an awesome story. And then Dave was like, yeah, it only took like 2.5 hours to get it working though or something.
It was a rough night.
And I'm like, I remember doing this so much. Like honestly, between like 12 and like 19, like I did so much mods. Like I love doing that, you know. But I'm like, but John, he put it so. Is it poignant?
Poignantly.
Yeah, poignantly. I always felt like I'm saying.
Is that a Joelism right there? Did it just happen live on the air?
No, that was just me messing up words.
That's what Joelisms
are. No, he said, this is how I feel about PCs and consoles, right? Is that like the same reason why I get iPhones. Yeah, I appreciate that PCs have so many choices and things like that. But what I'm expecting is I want to expect to press a button and that it just works consistently every time. I hate doing a lot of the back end stuff. And I was like, that's the difference between Android phones and iPhones. It's like Androids have a ton of extra stuff and you can do a lot, but sometimes they don't work as well. They don't have this as great as user experience. They don't have as many years put into it. iPhone is maybe more limited, but
I think that's more of what you're used to. Works. If you want me to go through all the things that make me screaming mad at my iPhone on like a weekly basis a year after I've bought it, I can do that for you. Coming from Android phones.
I also have the world's most boring Android phone. I've changed my wallpaper. And like it's not like I'm customizing it like crazy. It works really well and it looks beautiful.
But it's you guys on PCs you have the ability to change everything. You have to be able to tweak. I've kind of gotten through that. Like I've kind of gotten past that part of my life.
He doesn't like having choice. He wants the man to tell him, this is what you care about, Joel. He's like, yes, master.
I like having one. I choose one thing. I have the choice. I chose.
Lube it up, stick it down my throat. You say it's good for me.
Wow.
We're going to have to kick you off, Jeremiah. You started this pod. We're going to have to kick you off just for being too crass.
Kick me off? All right, keep going. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
The crassness.
No, so he just summed it up pretty well.
You completely distracted Joel with that train of thought.
Like you guys spending 2 hours trying to get a mod work, like that is the fun to you. That's not the fun. I was enjoying playing.
That's not the fun.
We're spending a lot of time getting the mods to work, but Joel, we've got our ARMA 3 mod pack to the point where all you're gonna have to do is drag a folder over and copy and paste one line, and it's just gonna work.
I've heard these words before. I've heard these.
No, Dave and I have been testing it. I've been uploading 9 gig files once a day for a couple days now, so that Dave can test them out on like fresh installs. And no, we're getting it nailed down.
Yeah,
48 mods. You'll be able to install it in like 1 minute.
It's awesome.
And actually, the Steam Workshop has taken care of a lot of those issues. There's like thousands of mods for games. Each game that's in the Steam Workshop, all you have to do is click one button and it adds the mod to your game. Like, it's that easy. It's like DLC that's free.
It's like how Skyrim works, right? With the Steam.
Yeah. So I agree with you. Back in the day, it was way harder. And some games still are hard because they don't want you to be able to mod them.
4.
Right, because they didn't want you modding the game, so they actively tried to prevent you from doing it.
I read the other day it was like one of the latest DayZ patches. It was like they logged in and it's like crashes. Did they fix it within a day or something like that?
Yeah, they actually uploaded one of the wrong files is why it was crashing. But like literally you would join and like run, and like one of the first actions you would do, like if you drag your t-shirt to the ground or whatnot, the game would like hang for a second and be like, DayZ,
and then
stop
my
working.
favorite part was like after the next patch, it was like, guys, DayZ works. It's like, whoa, holy crap. Man, the bar is set so low.
Do you remember that time you were playing DayZ and took off your clothes and they disappeared in the floor and you were looking at rocks thinking they were your clothes? I just want to bring that up.
Story. Yeah. I think, Joel, that's kind of expected though when you're playing the development branch of a early access alpha game.
I know that.
It is pretty funny though. Yeah.
This is why I think that having a good middle of the road opinion is the best, because I enjoy
James' opinion.
Well, no, I mean really, I get to enjoy the mods with you guys. Mm-hmm. And if I want to play Skyrim with some mods, I can boot it up on my PC. Or if I feel like sitting on the couch and put it on the console, I can. Mm-hmm. That's the benefit of not being exclusive master race. And, we're PC gamers and we're console gamers.
I'm not exclusive master race either. I have consoles. I just end up using my PC almost all the time.
You keep breaking your consoles.
I had one PS3 that broke after 7 years. That's not bad.
Well, you didn't go out and buy a new one, so...
Yes, I'm going to go out in August of 2014 and buy a PS3 for all those PS3 games I missed the first time around. I played almost every PC...
Did you play Heavy Rain?
No, I did miss that one. But I'm not going to buy a new PS3 for that. I played the Uncharted series, the Gran Turismo series, the Metal Gear series. Like, I played all of the PS3 exclusives. Yes.
Okay.
I was really tempted about 2 weeks ago. I was in GameStop, and they had Red Dead Redemption for like, gosh, it was like $6 or something. And I was like, and then I saw a used 360. It was like $60. I was like, I just wanted to get it for Dave, but then I chose not to because he had to buy a hard drive still for it. I was like, it's still expensive. So
How about this, Joel?
what?
I bought my younger brother a copy of Red Dead Redemption for his birthday because he has a 360, and I was a little bit jealous because that's one of the only games from last gen that I truly missed not having played. And honestly, it's not that I'm like anti-console. I definitely prefer the PC experience, but I would love to own a console. Like if I had like a few hundred extra bucks just for electronic stuff, I'd probably buy a PS4 at some point in the next year. But
Just don't buy that video card. And you got it.
He
Joel,
said,
I can't even
money laying
process
around,
your-
not important, not life essential money, Joel.
Well, I know that. But the next time you're thinking you need to buy the video
food?
if you starve just a little bit a week.
You know a GTX 980
you've seen what I eat for
is
lunch.
somewhere in Dave's future. GTX 980s are somewhere in Dave's future. You just know they are.
Well, you realize what you said.
Don't pose there.
During the no. You realize what you said during the news story about the 980, right?
Uh-huh.
You said a single 980 almost equals the power of two 680s, and that's a lie. And I said, oh.
Yeah, Dave.
Why would you describe it like that?
We went through this with your 480s. You're like, I'll just get one 680 because it's like the performance of both of them and better power consumption. I'll save the money on my power bills. Yeah. And then you're like, well, shoot, it's not quite as fast. I better get a second one. That'll add in all the things I complain about with the 480s, but I get the performance back.
Just keep me warm right now, like
all
a
right.
nice soft.
It's actually more of a survival thing for Dave.
I can't afford to pay my heat bill, so I play games.
I just open the vent and let it burn.
Dave, I promise you, if Norman makes trillions, I will buy you a console. And I'll force you to play a game with me.
If Norman makes trillions,
Trillion.
anything's possible. He'll buy a small country for you, Dave. I will buy you the moon.
He has some serious lofty goals. He's like, if I make trillions of dollars off of your free acting, I'll buy you a $400 console. You bastard.
Who's more foolish, the fool or the one who follows him?
It is. Speaking of which, it's now time for 90 Seconds with Joel, a part of the podcast where the fool leads us all for a while, and we have to decide who's dumber. Joel, go.
Oh.
Okay,
Glowing intro.
I'm changing my 90 seconds because I said it earlier. But I have something else. We just want to talk Apple stuff. Apple related with the iPhone.
Use your words, Joel.
All right.
So, okay, funny thing. So, me and a friend of mine who we do a lot of design work for apps and things like that, right? When Apple first came out with the iPhone 4 that had the Retina display, like, gosh, it changed everything when it came to like resolution sizes and square pixels, right? Like that was something I learned when I started doing a lot of design, is working with square pixels, just aligning to the exact pixels on the screen, right? Well, the iPhone 4 had square pixels, so everything you had to be square on it. It looked the most sharp, right? Well, with the latest iPhone 6, with the DPI or whatever it is even a little bit higher, it's no longer square pixels anymore. It doesn't matter. Like I was talking with a friend. He says like it was like, oh my gosh, because now it's just the size. He's trying to design a small little web banner, or like a small banner for the iPhone 6 on his regular display design of Retina. He's got a MacBook Air, right? It's like on full screen. It's like you can barely see just the tiny banner. That's it. Like trying to work on design. So as I was watching, I'm going, oh man, I'm so excited for this technology, but oh my gosh, designing for it is so
stop you right there. You're so excited for this. This technology has been around for years, Joel. The biggest Android phones for years now have had 1080p screens. This isn't like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we have these high resolution screens now. No.
Okay.
They've been around.
No, think about this. I'm not talking about that. You have to understand, we're using for like a lot of the like the various apps that are built in.
Right.
Like Android scales pretty well for random apps, but iPhones sell really well for the apps. They're very specific on that. Mm-hmm. So it's like we generally design for iPhones first, then Android second. That's just how most development is, like for major big apps. But the new pixel density is crazy. It's in between that now, and just the sizes and all the dimensions now, and the popularity of each one is like, oh, it's gonna kind of be a nightmare for doing it because that's what we mostly developed for. So
like the Galaxy S3, like outsold the iPhone for months and had a screen. It's not 1080p. That one was 720p, but it was way higher DPI than the iPhone screens at the time. And then the S4 came out and outsold the iPhone again. Obviously the iPhone outsells it like during the months it comes out. The Galaxy series outsells the iPhone in the months when it comes out. They kind of go back and forth. But no, people have been designing apps for those super high resolution screens for years, just not iOS only apps.
Yeah, we just don't. They're always like secondary priority for most apps that we build, because we found that there's such a small amount of people downloading them on Android. There is.
Maybe downloading the particular apps you're working on, but that's very much a correlation versus causation thing. More people have Android phones than iOS. More people are using Android. Android is the bigger. Okay,
I never said that.
Well, you're making it sound like, I mean, no one really uses Android phones.
Oh my gosh, Android's better, guys. They sell so many more.
Look what I'm using. Look what I'm using. Okay.
I know you have an iPhone.
I'll complain about it if I want to.
I'm not complaining about Android. I'm just saying for what we design.
You're saying now that the one that you designed for the most,
yes, the one that you designed for the most.
That's what I'm saying.
Has a higher pixel density that matches.
And it's just crazy that now, I mean, for most phones that have that higher, I mean, your phone may have that resolution, but is it the same DPI as what the new Retina is? That's
yes.
That's how DPI works.
That's how DPI works, Joel. I had a 5-inch phone 2 years ago that was 1080p, so it was actually higher DPI than the new 6.5-inch 5.5-inch 1080p iPhone 6 Plus. It was higher DPI. The iPhone 6 Plus is lower DPI than most of the Android flagship phones of the past several years. It's higher DPI than the... because it's 1080p at 5.5 inches. That's lower DPI. That's less dense than a 5-inch screen with 1080p. But it doesn't matter because they're both way higher than your eyes can actually see. Once you go over like 300 DPI, it really doesn't matter. And I think it's a stupid thing for people to keep throwing around like, ours is 500 DPI, ours is 440. Who cares? It's over 300. Like, I have... generally what's considered to be better than perfect vision, and I cannot tell the difference honestly at this size, or like 4.5 inches or whatever the size of the average Android phone. The difference between 720p and 1080p is pretty much negligible if apps are designed for it. Like an older app would look a little bit different, but if they're a new modern app, like let's say Instagram or Facebook, like a modern app that has real development behind it or whatever else, you will not really see a difference between like 720p and 1080p even.
Well, I mean that's really cool. I didn't know that. I'm not trying to say the iPhones have better resolution. I wasn't saying iPhones have better resolution than Android phones. I don't give a crap.
We've had this argument at least once every 2 weeks, and I've always said the same thing over and over and over.
But Joel is an Apple fan, which means he can't hear logic and reasoning and facts because all of those things.
What the F are you talking about? What the F are you talking about?
I'm just confused. Joel, now I'm just picking on you. Now I'm just picking on you.
Don't pop his happy apple bubble.
So picky. No, I was just saying that from what we freaking develop, okay, we actually work on. That's what the apps we work on. It's just gonna be like, oh man, it just changes a lot because the size is slightly different. It's like F, where it's just like. Every new piece of technology that comes out, not Apple, right? Mm-hmm. Just any technology. It's like, that's awesome, but crap, 4K, like everything's got to be so much higher. It's like, I just got the 1080p running games at 60 FPS. Now I got to get another video card.
That's stupid right now.
I'm pissed. Like, my video card can't even run the games I want at 60 FPS at 1440p. Like, they can't. And I'm like, screw you! Well, I just got this nice new video card.
And I want a 4K monitor really bad. Not even for gaming. I want it for like picture editing and graphic design stuff because I could get 180 DPI on a desktop monitor, which would be crazy awesome. But guess what? Adobe hasn't updated any of its products to work with Retina displays. Or I say Retina, I mean high DPI displays, except for a couple of the Adobe products on Apple. But they updated those a couple years back. They haven't done anything with their newest versions, really. They haven't done any major updates to make them ready for 4K screens, which is really, really stinking annoying. And Windows, also isn't ready for 4K. So if I get a 4K monitor, I have to deal with never being able to read anything. So I do the Windows built-in scaling. It's not scaling square to square on the pixels like Joel says, which is very important. Like it's not native is really what Joel's talking about. It's not native scaling. So it's going to look fuzzy. So Windows 9, actually, there's no way I'm going to buy Windows 9 unless it has great support for 4K. But we really do need to wind the podcast down now because I knew this one was going to go long, but Joel, are you okay with
comments of the week?
There are no. Thank you, Dave. We couldn't handle them. But Joel, we're all still friends. That's what's important, right?
Oh, I'm not angry at any of you guys.
Love you, Joel.
Don't underestimate the amount of anger sounding voice to angry at people.
Well, I'm not really worried because all I'll have to do is like step to the side. You'll just bounce off like the bottom of my shoe if you get really angry. So it's like a fly buzzing around. I'm like, whatever. You know,
As long as it's not a Cazador.
The one biggest thing I thought was just crazy is that like we went from this huge design curve of designing just pixel perfect, and we don't have to do that anymore. And not just for iPhones, but other phones. You know, it's just kind of like, wow, that's kind of crazy because that was like a huge thing. Like everything had to be perfect. Now it's like it doesn't matter anymore because your eyes won't even be able to tell. It's like, dang it. That was a lot of like, just, you know, it's because it's kind of tedious, but maybe it's gonna be easier. But I don't know, it's gonna be weird jumping back from that.
All right, that has been the podcast tonight.
I'm reading the comments now.
Oh, what are people? Oh gosh,
Dave. Well, today Joel yells about things.
Okay, anyway, guys, thank you for all coming out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. As always,
and iTunes.
Yes, and iTunes. You can leave comments on iTunes and rate us. You can write into the show, casualshenanigans@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Twitter at Casual Shenanigan, at EvilViking13, and at Germ Gaming. Actually, Evil Viking on Twitter, sorry. And at Germ Gaming. And now, since this is her first time on the podcast, Debbie, what should everyone do?
I think they should all go hug the seal now instead of slapping it. Just give it a nice warm embrace.
This is why we don't have girls on the podcast.
Early outro. Oh man.
Well,
everybody go club a seal.
Hey, remember, don't say bad things because John is in the next room. Like, shh.
John is in the next room.
I was about to say.
Oh gosh.
No. Say it.
Stop, Joel.
What did
stop.
you almost say, Joel?
Joel, just go away.
What did you almost say?
I gotta push this out. Just give me a second.
Stop talking.
Okay, what I meant to say is John is in another room, like, with this carving knife, you know, going shing shing with a knife. But I was about to say, better watch out because John's in another room shaving.
Probably true, but
I'm gonna show them.
and with that, everybody, stay casual. Okay, ordinarily this is where the episode would end, but actually Debbie and Joel kept arguing about all the things Joel was talking about when the episode ended. So after a minute or two of this, we decided to put the podcast live again for the people who still happen to be on Twitch. And, well, enjoy.
No, Joel, stay.
Don't dare leave.
I wasn't complaining it's going to be some massive problem.
You will take a virtual smackdown and like
10 minutes complaining about it being a problem.
No, I was just saying it's interesting. No, it's just like, you know, the amount of pixels now we're going to put on. Like, okay, here's another big thing. Here's a huge thing. Huge design thing, right? Listen to this, right?
What?
Just like my stupid YouTube video I made fun of, right? Your thumb, like on the bigger one, like even how they do the have you seen the reachability thing?
The reachability.
No. The reachability. Yeah.
Okay, you didn't watch the
I know what you're talking
That's actually what it's called. It's actually what it's called. It's iPhone. They're adding this reach, which if you double tap on the button, it brings stuff. Shut up.
What the heck are you talking about?
Okay, Joel, I'll explain it. Okay.
Please explain.
Climb
I'm
a
not a
building.
retard right now. It actually makes sense.
Why don't I just call you Becky?
Just call me Becky.
What is happening?
Okay, so Debbie, I'm going to guess that you have medium to smallish hands, right? Because you are a slightly shorter female. Okay, so you can probably reach an iPhone 4 or 5. Fine. What is your personal phone?
4S.
4S. Okay, and you have no problem reaching anything on it, right?
Like, think of one hand. You're doing something else using one hand, and you reach the top of the buttons. The top.
Okay, so imagine you had a 5.5 inch. Have you used Dave's phone?
Yes.
Okay, is it hard to reach stuff on the top?
No, because you know what I do? I put it in one hand and I use the other hand to navigate the whole
Right.
screen.
Well, much
so I have
like
the world
much like
possibility.
Apple tried to insinuate that like paying for things with the debit card was too difficult, and you need to use their Apple Pay method because like pulling the debit card out is just the end of the world. They're also insinuating that there's no other way to use the big phones. Now it's an optional feature. You don't have to use it, but you can double tap on a button. It will bring things at the top of your screen down closer to the bottom, so it's easier to reach.
Now, okay, you think it's like such a light thing, but honestly, there's a lot of different like applications for it that are really useful. Okay, when I do weddings, I have my camera and shoulder mount in my right hand almost the entire day, constantly. I pretty much never set it down.
Carrying one camera.
Yeah, well, I only need one. I don't need several others to do my professional work. No, so anyways, I have my shoulder mount, so it's my right hand. I'll be chatting with James or whoever, or texting Joy or something like that.
Oh, see, I don't text when I'm at work. I'm covering the most important day of someone's life. I'm on. Of course, I don't shoot video where you can just hang out in the back and get drunk all night and be like, haha, they won't remember any of this. It's like, no,
More Joel beers, please.
I have the rock star job. You're like the little hunchback screen in the background. Please give me 2 minutes with a couple. I'm like, shut up, video.
But with the reachability thing, like, you know, I think it's kind of weird, but I mean, it's going to be helpful. I mean, especially for the bigger phones. I'm not getting the phablet. I'm going to get just the iPhone 6 because right now my button on my phone like literally does not work. It will work randomly.
Phablet. That's what they're called.
We're learning new vocab tonight.
No, well, the reason why I love Apple about a lot of the stuff, you know, with, you know, even with their Apple Pay is that it can't. I know you could have done that for a long period of time on other phones. They've had NFC. It's not a new thing, but it's to make it worthwhile, and that's the reason why iPhones originally came out. Like, I can't. It's crazy to think that every phone now has a touchscreen. There are no buttons anymore. Screw buttons. It's like it's gone that quick. It's because they finally introduced, you know, the multi-touch, which other companies had that before, but they never perfected in a way that Apple did, in a way that gets it into consumers' hands and goes, hey, this works right off the bat. Prove me wrong. I mean, the iPhone changed phones forever. It was just the touch screen. They weren't the first to do it, but they were first to do it in a way that brought it to the mass market. So with the Apple Pay, I'm saying Apple Pay is not going to be the newest, and maybe it'll fail, but what they're trying to figure out is it's got to be quick. It can't be some tedious process. If it is, no one will use it.
For years that people are using.
Joel, have you heard of Google Wallet yet? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I use PayPal all the time too.
No, Google Wallet.
Google Wallet,
it works
not
just
PayPal.
like Apple Pay. There are also debit cards you can already just touch against the thing at a register in tons of places and pay. Like that has existed for years. Apple's just making it seem like, hey, look at our idea, guys! Isn't this awesome? You can take a picture of your debit card and add it to your passbook.
Yeah, but if they do it really well, people are going to start removing their wallets. They're not going to carry
just
their
like their brand new watch.
The one thing I was curious,
the brand new iWatch. Oh no, it's called the Apple Watch. Why? iPhone, iMac, iPad, iPod, Apple Watch. Why?
That makes sense. Why not? Because different.
You know, the watch does look really neat. I'm not sure if I'll get the first one, just because honestly, I think honestly, even from Apple's video, I don't think they have any clue how people are actually going to really use them. Like
That's the problem.
I love the UI and function on it.
You don't
awesome.
need this. Here it goes. You can share your heartbeat with your significant other.
Yay!
Like I think the stuff they added, the technology in is pretty amazing. Of what I think they're going to, but I think they really have no idea, like, how are people really going to use it, you know? And I think that's going to be interesting. I think their device is pretty freaking awesome. Like, it's the little scroll wheel thing. I think it's a great idea for
they're going to use
using
it the same
on a
way
watch.
they use all the other ones that are already out in the market.
Yeah.
What's that?
For vanity. I mean, there's no other reason to have them right now. I mean, nothing that Apple listed was really that.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like it was pretty. Like I could see some of the things, like, you know, obviously a lot of the running and tracking, and then even just quick emails. That would be nice. Like, but the thing I'm honestly looking for is something to be able to replace the iPhone, to not have to carry an iPhone or a wallet around. Like, it'd be awesome if it just only had a watch. But like, even how they power.
But it doesn't come with any kind of.
Joel, do you wear a watch right now?
No, I don't.
Then why are you gonna wear one?
I hated getting rid of my watch because I mean now I have a phone. Like, why do I need
have to get rid of it? I wear a watch.
But honestly, like, I hate carrying around an iPhone all the time.
Different.
Like, I don't.
They're in the same room.
They're the same color. They're the same color.
Power,
I don't know which one's which.
It's too much power.
No, I'm saying I would
There's
love
time
to have,
here and there's time here. I don't know which one to look at.
I would love to see a watch that can really take over not having to have a phone. Just to be simple, like not have to carry as much stuff, you know? We went to Disney World, we had these little watch bracelet things they came with. Amazing. You don't have to carry your wallet or anything. It's the NFC thing. You just tap to buy stuff.
Amazing. They let you spend money so quickly, and you don't even have to have that experience of pulling your wallet out. You're just like, screw this, I'll pay for it all later.
So I was I was hoping that iPhone 6 actually had NFC without it being on. Because I was thought, what if you don't bring your wallet and you just get used to it, and then, oh crap, my battery went out. What, Debbie?
So they have these little cool things you can stick on the back of your iPhone. It's like a little carry slot for your credit card.
Planning
you
on
can
getting
slip it in there. And it's 2 seconds and you just boop, done. And you pay for everything.
We're in the future.
Okay, that's smart.
Planning on getting that. Because then I don't have to have a wallet. I can just carry just
or a
the phone.
watch. You don't have to get a watch.
My first thing I said to Joel when they were showing the Apple payment system, because there's like no steps you have to really go through, it like immediately goes through. That's pretty much what they're saying. It's like I kind of need those steps when I'm shopping. I don't want that simple touch. I like to have me putting my address in. It's just one step away from me saying, maybe I should wait.
Okay, who wants to play
okay.
Prime?
Okay, we're really gonna shut it down this time. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for coming out. Debbie, would you like to take another stab at this?
Shave a seal, guys.
That's horrible.
Go for it, Debbie.
Yeah, that's the thing. You first.
Can you hear it, guys? I can hear John.
He's shaving his seal right now. What?
He's playing.
That's what
See you guys.
Later.